purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was telling land, focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. Let me know how we sound on the audio. Let me know how we sounding on the audio, and we will keep this thing going. Audio check. All right. Peace to everybody in the building. All right. Peace to everybody in the building. All right. And first, okay, we good on the audio. That's what's up. That's what's up. Let me double check. All right, yeah, we good on the audio. Audio good. Audio good. It's like a slight delay. So sometimes I'll just be sitting here like waiting for y'all to say something because it's literally about a 30-second to a 45-second delay. That's just for, that's just for the records. But yeah, man, peace to everybody pulling up on this good Thursday and whatnot. Look, Happy New Year's. Okay, before we even get anything started, I think I might even name the show tonight Happy New Year's. You feel me? Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. Happy New Year's. You know what I mean? It's cold as hell in Atlanta. I don't know what the hell happened today. The bipolar weather shit is happening again. You know what I mean? Yesterday was like 78 degrees. Today it was Brick City, my G. For real, for real. It was kind of chilly, but nonetheless, you know what I mean? The spring is here, right? The proverbial new year is here. We made it through the winter. I was just on my show last night with B-Dell talking about that. Shout out to everybody that pulled up on a late night. We had a very late show last night. I think it was like 11:11 we went live, but everybody that caught the replay, I appreciate y'all. But I was like, damn, this was this was a quick ass winter. This was a quick ass winter. It wasn't an easy winter though. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Me personally, I speak for myself. This wasn't an easy winter. It was going mad fast and whatnot, and it was going so fast that I was trying to keep up with it. Um, Hopefully on the channel, I was able to provide quality content and whatnot in terms of what how we covered everything from January up to March the 20th and whatnot. But the winter was kicking my ass, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. And it wasn't really nothing special. It's just winter shit. Life be life in. You know what I'm talking about? Um, I wanted to take a break from YouTube in the winter on some winter shit. You know what I mean? Like when I seen Black Dot and them take a break, I wanted to take a break too, but I just couldn't. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but it's hard to pull away sometimes. I'll just leave it at that. For any of my content creators out there, you might know what I'm talking about. But the fear is if you pull away, you might pull away so much that it's going to be harder for you to come back. So sometimes you just got to push through the shit. You feel me? And just continue with it and not really slow down too much because you could become I could get into other shit, you know what I'm saying? Like things just be popping up. I could wind up putting a lot of my energy behind something else and whatnot, and it would be hard for me to keep up with the Monday and Thursday schedule and stuff like that. So I literally have to stay on this quote unquote run. I literally have to stay consistent. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody out there that be on a consistency. You know what I'm saying? I have to draw from that sometimes. Like I gotta draw from Black Magic 363. You feel me? I gotta draw from some of the other content creators that I gotta draw from a Playboy Max, even though that's one of the young YNs. He's a streamer, but he's been streaming every day. He has this whole thing where he's gonna stream every day for a whole year. So when I see them doing it, I'm like, but these are young kids and whatnot. They're not the same as your boy right here. But I'm like, nah, I fuck with it. And of course, all of the other content creators that do like the little hip hop shit, where there's a breaking story, they'll just jump online and be like, yo, Big U got locked up, or this happened, or that happened. Like their fucking job is easy. You know what I mean? If this was a hip hop channel, a hip hop platform, this shit would be a cakewalk. You know what I mean? Because every day is something to talk about. There's some shit going on in the hip hop universe, some type of fuckery. YN is young niggas. And excuse if you don't like that word, but never ignorant getting goals accomplished. But YNs are young niggas. YRN is young rich niggas. I'm just giving y'all the lingo. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just giving y'all the lingo. Um, let's go and do the roll call. Let's do it. Let's do the roll call, man. Tonight's show, though, we're gonna do a Q&A show tonight. I'm gonna give my audience the platform to ask questions, and I'll get on my Chat GPT shit. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. We'll do one of those AMA, ask me anything type of things. You know what I mean? It's spring, it's winter. I don't want to, because it's a lot of negative shit in the news right now. Just for the sake of the energy tonight, I don't want to really harken on that. I've been doing a lot of deep diving for my lecture and stuff like that. And it takes a toll, man. You know what I mean? I'm diving into dark waters. There's a lot of dark shit going on. I think, and I'm not necessarily 100% sure about it, but now, well, after the roll call, we'll talk about it. North Las Vegas in the building, Mississippi in the building. We got Khalifa in the building. We got South Carolina in the building, Arizona in the building, Toronto in the building. You dig? Bishopville in the building, New Bedford, Massachusetts, VA in the building. Naptown in the building, Norfolk in the building, Pittsburgh in the building. We have Dallas in the building. Charlotte in the building. Uh-oh, Charlotte. That day is coming. We about to be in your backyard in a few days, Charlotte. I hope y'all ready for us. Buffalo in the building, Decatur in the building, Philly in the building, Cali in the building. Yeah, I'm talking about Belize in the building, Cali in the building again, Arlington in the building, Minnesota. Shout out to Minnesota, Maryland in the building. Okay, Divine Goddess. Whoop whoop. I can't wait to see you in Richmond as well. I look forward to that. I caught my brother A.A. Rashid on Black Magic last night. That was a good one. That was there's there's never a dull moment in terms of the gems that the brother's able to espouse A.A. Rashid. So that was a good one. That was a good plate of food right there. Brain food, that is. Flatbush in the building. Shout out to Flatbush. BX. Shout out to the BX. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Delaware. Shout out to Milwaukee. Shout out to Jersey. You know what I mean? Shout out to Indigenous Folk Louisiana. I'm loving all of the pictures that are coming out of Louisiana and the Mardi Gras, the big Indians and all of that colorful Indian feathers and the beautiful women, and you know what I mean? Like I love it. I was looking at Brazil simultaneously and what they were doing in New Orleans with the with our people and whatnot. We have some beautiful people, some beautiful people we can't sleep on. I really appreciate the people, the people that are embracing their indigenous place in this whole thing. Not to take anything away from my brothers and sisters who are Pan-Africans, not to take anything away from my brothers and sisters who are quote unquote Pan-African, Nile Valley civilization, anybody, Hebrew Israelites, anybody that's not on a we from we the Aboriginal. Shout out to y'all too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. That has to be said because this community sometimes is so fractured that it's like you got to choose one. You know what I mean? It's so monolithic and whatnot, and I'm not monolithic at all. Shout out to Nashawn. What up? I'm not monolithic at all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all of walks of life from wherever you from. I'm with all of that. You know what I'm talking about? I see the light in all of it, you know? So I'm there for that. Rhode Island in the building. We got Milwaukee in the building. We can't let those Cabbage Patch Kids claim our land anymore. Hello? The fuck? Hello? I feel the same way. Like the caucasity of our people. Just allowing these people, these Cabbage Patch Kids, to act like they've been here and they got the goddamn claim on this goddamn land, and our people are acting like they rather argue and bump heads before really piping up and telling these people to, yo, y'all niggas gotta go back to the Cabbage Patch. Like for real, for real. All right, Nashawn, we're gonna link up tomorrow. I was completely forgetting about that as well, but thank you, bro. Naptown in the building. You know what I mean? Yeah, you Mexican. You know what I'm saying? And I'm shout out to the brothers and sisters from over there in Mexico and South America, Latin America, who, they're even adding on to the narrative by, standing behind the claims that the brothers and sisters in the Americas are making about the fact that they're hiding something. Let's just leave it at the fact that they're hiding something. Inquiring minds want to know, why the hell is the Smithsonian hiding shit from us? Like, we know that they're hiding things from us, bro. I mean, they conquered the land, they committed genocide. You think that they are telling us everything that you think that they're telling us the truth? No. Look at what's going on across the pond in the mid what do they call that, the Middle East. Look at how the European is moving in Australia, in South Africa, everywhere that they've conquered, and they scorched the earth. Now look at the stories that they tell after they scorched the earth. God damn it, look at Hawaii. Like they lied through their fucking teeth. So no, at the end of the day, I'm not believing anything. I ain't rocking with nothing that they say. I don't believe. I'm everything is suspect to me. Everything that we learned, I'm ready to unlearn that shit. Even though I've unlearned a whole lot of it, you know. But a lot of, I mean, I just got trust issues. And what I was gonna say earlier before I did the roll call is some way, I don't know why I'm tethered to the conflict in the Middle East. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I do think the small ounces of humanity that I have left in me, it just it's like the babies on the timeline. That's the biggest thing. What did Tony Montana say? The women and children are off limits, right? I'm not a gangster. I don't live a gangster life. I'm not a mobster. You feel me? I'm not even a street dude, right? But I understand fully what that means, bro. The women and the children are off limits. That's what causes depression. That's what causes, like, my spirit is perturbed. You know what I mean? My spirit is perturbed. I'm becoming uh I'm becoming desensitized, you know, through my timeline, and somehow, some way that has affected my energy in a way where I don't even be wanting to go on. I don't even want to go on the internet no more, because it's like I'm going on the internet, I'm logging on and shit, I'm plugging in, and it's a cesspool of negativity and cadavers, bro. So it's like I'm being affected by that, and I'm not even from there, right? And then I'm doing the research on the people that are doing the genocide, and then I'm seeing how deep their fangs are into our community, into our culture, and well, and it's like, damn, that, you know, it's like I could feel, even though they're not carpet bombing us with quote unquote even though the is it real people, or what they call the Zionists, they might not be carpet bombing our communities with 5,000-ton bombs. They're carpet bombing us with drill music. They're carpet bombing us with OF models. They're carpet bombing us with fentanyl. They're carpet bombing us with e-pills and all of these prescribed, you know, the prescriptions from the big pharma. Yeah, that's all it. That's all them. That's all them. So I'm like, it still has a correlation and a connection and whatnot, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, I can't unsee certain things. You feel me? You know, when like somebody was like, not on my timeline, and thank God for everybody who has the sanitized timelines and whatnot. You know, salute to y'all. I might have to reset my IG and try to get with a new timeline, because I'm a researcher. So I'm a researcher and I'm a Scorpion. So we go in, we open up those doors and we go behind the curtain a lot. You know what I mean? Like we go deep diving into the dark, murky waters. You know? Yeah. And yeah, thank you. Buying up the blocks in the hood as well. Ukrainian and Israeli billionaires playing a monopoly game out this bitch. Facts. You know? Facts. And it's like, I don't want to bring y'all negativity a lot. I could, this channel could become a platform where we just talk about all of the negatives that are going on, because you know it's a lot of shit going on. I said it on the show with Blue that the retrograde is retrograding. You know, The retrograde is retrograding. This retrograde is different. I don't know what it is, but this retrograde, this shit got people up in arms, bro. For real, for real. And then we going into air, we in Aries and whatnot. So just today, Is It Real was bombing 5 countries simultaneously while America was bombing Yemen, right? They are fully locked in to the ritual right now. Fully. They going in with their ritual, like they are locked in with their quote unquote war against what they call the Amaleks. You know what I mean? And they're committing all type of atrocities, and they're tapping into the Aries energy fresh. The bitch didn't even come in and they started dropping bombs, and they were in a ceasefire. They were in the middle of a ceasefire. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be in a ceasefire. And they popped out and they started committing atrocities against these people and whatnot. And, wiping out children and women. And, like I said, women and children should be off limits. That's why the last straw for me with Ye was when he clapped the women and the children. I cannot stand behind nobody like that. I can't get with that. Can't get with it. I know what comes with that. You can't disrespect the dead, and you can't disrespect the women and I mean, you can't go after the women and the children. They can't be the quote unquote target for your campaigns. All of that, fuck them kids and all of that. The minute I hear that shit, I move 1,000 feet away from whoever says that. I ain't with it. I can't do it. I cannot. You know what I mean? I have not lost that much of my humanity. I have not become that desensitized. Like, my heart is not that heavy to where I could co-sign some shit like that. Women and kids is off limits, bro. I stand on that. You know what I mean? So the shit that I'm seeing these people doing, it's like there was a show that I did last night with BDL 1014. Shout out to BDL 1014. And and the title of the show was Karmatic Retributions is a sign of, let me make sure that I don't get the wrong thing. Let me give you the correct title. Karmic retribution is a sign of resurrection. And I wanted to ask him, and I forgot to ask him, if that's the case, like, when is the karma coming to these people who are literally unaliving children every day? You know? When is that happening? Because where is the karmic retribution at? Like, when are they going to get their licks? When are they going to get their smacks? When are they finna get stepped on? Because I'm literally waiting for that day. I don't give a fuck. I'm waiting for that day patiently. I need to know that karma is real, because they can't justify what they're doing at the end of the day. I'm not buying it. I don't know if anybody else would. I ain't buying it. I know what I'm watching. I know what I'm seeing, and it's like my spirit is kind of like perturbed by that shit, bro. It is. It is. And somebody would be like, man, don't worry about none of that. That don't got nothing to do with you. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Like, if my spider senses is going off, I'm that much in touch with my spider senses and with my, with spirit and my soul, to whereas it's telling me that it does got something to do. You know what I'm saying? That you can't ignore it and whatnot. You know, but I don't want to get on that type of rant type shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get on that type of rant. But I just have to share that, because it's I just got to share that. There's an elder. I got to show a picture. I'm on my Facebook right now. one of my elders, I have to give him a rise in power, my elder Paul, who is the brother of the good brother Baba Samaj and whatnot. And this man knew me and my brother when we were in the womb. You feel me? He knew us when we were in the womb. And, he's been a friend of my mama. He was a friend of my grandfather. He was a friend of family. And he was always, he was always stand up, like from when always stand up, brother. You know what I'm saying? He was rooting for me personally. Every time I seen him, it was all love. You know what I'm talking about? So let me upload this picture and give him his proper salutations. You know, so many of our elders took that trip and walked through that portal that was recently opened up. You know what I mean? That Angie Stone and a few others went through. This is the Baba right here. Baba, he was very if anybody ever went to the temple in Brooklyn with Supernova Slum, Queen of Four, and Baba Samaj and whatnot, then our elder Paul, you know. He's a soldier too. He was a soldier, you know what I mean, holding it down. And he was always 10 toes and whatnot. So rising power to him. You feel me? Rising power to him. Um, yeah, yeah. Cause it's messed up when people make transition and nobody says anything. Like I'm kind of perturbed about the love that wasn't shown to Neely Fuller. I wish I had Neely on the platform. That was one of the things on my checklist that I wanted to check off and whatnot. And we didn't necessarily get to do that. But he was on the Cows Network, and I was a fan of the work, you know what I'm saying? And he made transition February the 1st. He made transition February the 1st. So for anybody in the community that was unaware of that, Neely Fully Jr., who was a very decorated scholar who came up with Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. I'm not sure if they were together. Don't quote me on that, but I know that they were inseparable. So, they're the pantheon of ancestors. I bring this up a lot. Um, I can't tell anybody what to do. I can't tell anybody in this community what to do and how to do it and whatnot. But me personally, I would love to have a shrine erected, and all of the ancestors from this community, both known and unknown, and teachers and students, be a part of that altar, so we could begin to either summon these ancestors. What I mean? They need their shrines. And I'm not talking about graveyard type shit. They need their shrine. They need their shrines. They need their altars and whatnot. you know Dr. Wilson often quoted Neely Fuller. She did. She definitely did. You feel me? you know um So we in Atlanta, and more things are possible out here than they are damn near anywhere else. So that's not a far cry to get this thing kicked off and whatnot. Like I want to pay homage to Dr. Delbert Blair, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. You know what I mean? People who is not being mentioned, like Azariah, Azazel Bay, Uriel Bay. You know what I mean? There's so many. Panic. You know what I mean? There's so many people that I don't hear a lot. I don't hear their names mentioned enough. Azazel, brother Daoud, Dr. Africa. You know what I mean? And it's like we got protection. You feel me? If y'all really believe in the power of the ancestors, and if y'all really tapping into, the fact that we don't die, we multiply and we ascend. Dick Gregory, we ascend. We have um we have protection. We have a force field. You feel me? Dr. Goss, you know, Dr. Goss, Huna Flash, you know, Huna Flash. Um, I had a good brother by the name of Rock, right? Rock was a legend in Harlem. He was down, he was a legend in Harlem. Dr. Jack Felder, right? From 125th Street, Khaled, you know what I mean? And of course, the Khalid Muhammads of the world, you know what I mean? Like we have a pantheon, Dr. Renoko Rashidi, Baba Kalindi. You feel me? Like there's if you know what I mean? Like there's a pattern if you pay attention. Um, this is our force field. These are the ancestors from which we could draw power from. Steve Coakley, Dr. John Henry Clark. I shade all of them, especially for this new year. We're gonna invoke the pantheon of ancestors for this new year because it's a new season and whatnot. And we just left the season of death and whatnot. You know what I mean? Which is not at the end of the day a bad thing. Murder is a bad thing in my book, but death is not. This is something that's inevitable, especially as a Scorpio. We kind of look at things a little bit differently. We're not morbid, but we just look at life and death, from a different vantage point, if that's the word to use. You know what I mean? I cry, I break down, I have, you know what I mean? I have fears and whatnot. And I ain't ready to bury people, but it's inevitable and life is lifing, you know. Pascal Beverly Randolph, you feel me? And then there's a slew of elders who were teachers that I don't know where they at right now. I don't know where they at. I've been looking for people. I don't know where they at. I be asking, yo, did you see this person? Have y'all heard from this person? Da 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 da. And it's people missing, So I just don't know, you know. But I keep my ear to the ground. You know what I'm saying? It's like COVID was like like it was like a nuclear bomb or some shit. It was like, you know what I mean? Like it was like a war because afterwards when the smoke clears, you literally got to find out where your people's at. You know what I mean? The shit was like Gaza. You know what I mean? Bobby is still alive. You know what I mean? Bobby is still alive. I wouldn't put Bobby on the altar, but I would definitely put Bobby in a place where he's getting all of the ashes that he can get. You know what I'm saying? So, his spirit could be strengthened. You feel me? But I shade to all of them, you know what I mean? Known and unknown. We standing on y'all shoulders and whatnot. Yeah, Marimba Ani. We standing on your shoulders. Baba Sekou from Harlem. Big Man, Sister Burke. These three names that I just mentioned, Brother Sekou, Big Man, Sister Burke, and Clemson Brown. And let me think who's the fifth one. These were the quote unquote, they were the Netflix of the material, the source material, right? They were the digital library holders. They were the um Library of Alexandria for us because they were the ones that were filming the master teachers, and they were the ones who had the quote unquote libraries. This is before the concept of YouTube took over. You know what I mean? This is before YouTube kind of came into power. We were doing DVDs and we were doing VHSs, but they had to be somebody who was taping them. So Transatlantic Productions, that's Baba Clemson Brown. He had I think he may have had the biggest library and whatnot of information. Altamatics, Rise and Power. He used to film the automatics and every like legendary shit, bro. Legendary shit. You know what I mean? So a lot of the, I'm just laying out my case. Uh okay, yes, brother Dawa Yisrael. Yep. I remember him. Was he from Chicago? Um I'm laying out my case that these people are instrumental in our I did mention Brother Panic's name. Yes. That they are instrumental in our ascension, right? There's no red pill without some of these names, y'all. You know, not to, you know what I mean? There's no red pill. You know what I mean? I don't know what course my life would have been in if not for these scholars. I did mention Prince Uriel Bey. Yeah, I brought him up. This brother right here, I was having a conversation. Damn, I don't want to forget who it was I was having it with. Damn. And the conversation was about how to come into consciousness the right way, right? And I often hearken. I hope I don't, you know what I mean? I hope I'm not like a broken record when it comes to it, but I like to bring back I like to explain to people how things were, you know what I'm saying, back in the days. So sometimes if you see us rallying against how things are, you be like, damn, is this nigga just angry all day or is something wrong? No, it's like, nah. I'm noticing when things are not right, and I'm noticing how things have changed drastically. So the conversation was about psychology, right? The conversation was about psychology, that before we dive into the Bobby Hemmitts of the world, the Phil Valentines of the world, the Dr. Blairs of the world, and now we have the Rod Hayes and the Billy Carsons, and you know what I mean, and the master teachers and the scholars of today, right? We have to first get into fixing the psychology, right? We have to get the mind right. And there was two scholars that I had the benefit of coming across in my earlier days when I was just a young whippersnapper and I was like a guppy, you know what I mean? And I was basically a tadpole in this shit. You feel me? So around this time, I was literally like I was in the phase of my orientation, right? I was in my orientation phase. Um, and it was Dr. Amos Wilson and Naeem Akbar who I came across. And what these brothers represented was they were like medicine for my brain. You understand? And they were like they primed the walls before it got painted by the master teachers. They are master teachers themselves, but they deal with the brain, they deal with the thoughts, they deal with the mind, they deal with the mental. These are psychiatrists in a sense. Amos Wilson, the way that he was breaking shit down and was helping to change my thoughts, literally. I remember being at my dude's studio, right? Mac Truck Turner. This was might have been 2005. King Simon, no. Yeah, King Simon in the building. And you know how people got the pull-up bars on like their door and whatnot. So in the studio where we was recording, we was listening. So back in the days, this is how we would do it. We would listen to the teachers on a cassette tape, or we would listen to it like in the studio. We would listen to it on boom, on surround sound in the studio. Because like I said, it wasn't really like YouTube where you could turn the TV on and just rock out and whatnot and just let your phone play and shit. It wasn't like that. It was either you had a cassette or you had a VHS, and then it upgraded to DVD. You know what I mean? You see me in the Bobby video in the crowd. I was dripping too. That part. My mom's used to be at UAM when yeah. My mom's was always soaking everything up. You know what I'm saying? My mother, Mama Pill, I shade of her. She was the one who brought us into consciousness. You feel me? Like she was the one who made it cool for us to be in that life. You know what I'm saying? My father, he wasn't really on it like that. My father, he's an English professor, African studies and everything. Rocks a afro still to this day, Mr. Black Power. But it's interesting because my dad would be more like how you have the academia and the woke of today, and my mother would be more of the consciousness of today, if that makes any sense. That's the difference between the two. He's more into like traditional African studies and traditional he's just in alignment with like jazz and you know what I mean, and shit that was out in the 60s and the 70s. Like he's not a fan of any of the new niggas. He ain't a fan of none of the new shit at all. You know what I mean? But my mom's, she was she come out of the Dr. Sabi camp, but even before Sabi, my grandfather was bringing her around the elders in Harlem who was dropping that information. Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben actually buried my sister. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days. Like this is in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So my grandfather from St. Croix, Dr. Ben from St. Croix, they was locked in. And it was really my grandfather who kind of had my mom's on the conscious shit. Like, nah, you're gonna come to these lectures and you know what I'm saying? You're gonna learn something. Um, but I say all of that to say that Amos Wilson helped prepare me mentally. He helped prepare my mind. He helped prepare our brains and whatnot. He helped me to receive the information and it didn't short circuit me. So, okay, we in the studio listening to Amos Wilson. I'm doing pull-ups on a pull-up bar. We smoking weed with seeds in it and whatnot. And I passed out. Straight up, I passed out. I passed out because I think the information was so much. Like I remember listening to that shit, and I'm like, God damn, this shit is. I'm doing pull-ups trying to keep up, and I'm listening to it, and then I came up off the pull-up bar, but it wasn't the pull-up bar, it was the information that was getting dropped, and I was just like, yo, this is too much, and I passed out, maybe for like a minute, I don't know. But back in those days, you would get migraines off the information if it was too deep, yo. If it was too deep, the nigga would get a migraine. That's how much we were being deprogrammed. That's how decalcified our pineal was. That you would get a goddamn migraine on the right side. I remember watching Phil Valentine lectures, and I would have the worst migraine in the world. Fast forward, I was like, what was taking place was he was breaking through. The migraine was basically the calcified pineal. Oh, check this out. I'm a conscientious industry plant. This nigga don't even know how to spell conscious. But red pill is a conscious industry plant. What kind of plant? A cactus or what kind of plant? A cactus? Or I don't know. You got to tell me what type of plant I am, because I'm definitely a plant. You know? Uh-oh, here we go. You spent so much time bashing Kabbalah. Now look, rights are being removed daily as they thumb their noses to the judicial system. Some of this is on you and your rhetoric, telling people to lick a toad. Nah, this can't be a bot. This can't be a bot. You know what I'm saying? Unless they got Chat GPT going through. It's too personal. It can't be a bot. God damn, these niggas is blaming the election on me, on me. Yeah, I think it was the Reggie that gave. Yeah, I think that's why I reiterated. We wasn't blowing on no za. We wasn't blowing on no kush, my nigga. We was blowing on the weed that was a firecracker. You remember that? Where the shit would start popping because you smoked the seed and whatnot. Remember, this is like 2004, 5. You know what I'm saying? These are the struggle years. So I'm smoking on a Reggie. I'm doing pull-ups and I'm listening to Amos Wilson. Yeah, I fainted. Straight like that. I fell out. I was like, ugh. Ugh. Look, this nigga said he's not a bot. All right. Let's be clear. He's not a bot. You know what I'm talking about? He's standing on business. He's like, fuck that, nigga. You responsible for those segregated bathrooms. To be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Me personally, I don't want to be in the bathroom with white people. It ain't my fault. Yo, Siri, Alexa, play It Ain't My Fault, Master P. Nigga, I don't want to share bathrooms with Peckerwoods. You know what I'm talking about? They be meat peeking anyway. I'm not there for it. I don't want to with white people with bubble guts in the bathroom. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I'm let's get to the segregation, man. Fuck that. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get to it. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Kamala would have had men in the women's bathroom. You know what I mean? We don't even get a thank you for that. We don't even get a thank you for that, my nigga. I'm good on that. Let's bring the segregation back. I like segregated hotels. I'm tired of being in Holiday Inn and these Europeans is at the front desk looking at me while I'm trying to check in. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to check in. You know what I mean? Like Big U is in the building. I'm trying to check in. Nah, let's bring it back. You know what I'm talking about? Let's bring it back. You know? I'm good on that. So we getting the hate. I mean, God damn it. Should I come out with the MAGA hat? Should I come out with the MAGA? Should I just go fully MAGA? If they painting me MAGA, should I just go fully MAGA? Because God damn it. You know? I don't even think that's Kamala. I think that's Doug. Mr. Google is Doug. I think that's Doug Emheim. That's her husband. He's still mad. Doug, you still mad? You think I'm in? Oh, you think this is real? This is a green screen. I'm not in the White House, Doug. Chill, son. Chill, son. So if they bring segregation back, I don't have a problem with it. If they bring segregation back, I don't have a problem with it. If they tell black people we don't want you around us, me personally, I don't have a problem with it because what was I doing for a few years? I was telling you niggas that white people don't want to be around you. That's what I was telling y'all. I was telling you that they don't want to be around us. I was reading their energy. You know what I mean? They were kind of fed up with us. I told you before, I be in airports and it feels uncomfortable. I need more of us in there because you be in the airports full of white folk, and that's when they really start letting you know how they feel and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Because I show up to the airports as myself in proper persona. I can't take this shit off. I got my beads on. I be having my goddamn cuffs on. You know what I mean? They be looking at me like, you know what I mean? What is this nigga? But now they got this shit called woke. So now I'm a woke nigga. You know what I'm talking about? So now I'm in the airport and they like, oh, watch out, hide the kids. It's a woke nigga. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy that made us feel bad during the Black Lives Matter protests. Now I get singled out of the crowd. I'm a woke nigga now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm good on the segregation. You know what I'm saying? What let's when we gonna start? When we gonna start? You know what I mean? We could get this shit together. Our first plane is gonna be a Lego plane, but after a while we'll get it together. You know what I mean? My first Sony plane, because niggas don't have planes right now. So the first plane will be a Lego plane. And then we'll get our and gradually we'll start getting our shit together. And then we'll get a dollar cab with wings on it. And then a little later we'll have a real plane. The one plane, the sole plane that we all could fly on. And then we'll just have to start we'll have a rent party and just buy more planes. Niggas that have a dice game at the airport and the winner buys the plane. What are we doing? Yeah, the Neanderthals in the airport, they got to keep the air on in the airport, henceforth air, because that should be smelling like a jar of Hellman's mayonnaise. It smell funny on the planes. You know what I mean? And I can't do it anymore. So yeah, give us an airplane. That my brother from Burkina Faso, he's gonna take care of us. You feel me? He's gonna take care of us. What's his name? My guy with the $150 on his face. My guy. He's gonna send a plane for us. You know what I'm saying? You know. You said niggas rarely fly. That man, your timeline must be different than mine. How are they getting to Aruba, my nigga? If niggas taking dollar cabs to Aruba, they taking Ubers to Aruba. Every time I open up my app, it's a nigga somewhere where he ain't supposed to be. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas is traveling. Yeah, Ibrahim, my guy, Ibrahim, the most important black man on the planet right now, type shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know that they making moves against Africa right now as we speak. Let me show you. I think it's the Congo. Out of all people, you dirty double crossers. The Congo is trying to bring America in, and they said that they wanted to give them resources. I'm like, and it's specifically Donald Trump. You know how these Africans feel about Donald Trump. And if you don't know how they feel about Donald Trump, for my Africans in the audience, tell my people how they feel about Donald Trump. Okay? Them Africans, they love them some Donald Trump. Okay? Them Africans love them some Donald Trump. Donald Trump gets money. So he's good with everyone. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump he gets to the paper. So they love them some Donald Trump, you know? But they telling Donald Trump, come into the motherfucking Congo. We want to give you all of our natural resources for exchange of military, right? Aid. This shit is crazy to me. Like what? Like nigga, what? So the minute that happens, right? It's on and popping. It's on and popping. They're gonna put their bases all up in Africa. They're gonna fly their drones, and they're gonna bring their contractors in, and they're going to bring their CIA hitmen in, and they're gonna bring Is It Real? The small hats coming, and it's gonna be Project Takeover Africa, utilizing Congo as a motherfucking launch pad, because they doing all of this thing to kick the French out, to clear up the Sahel, right? And then these niggas turn around and start bootlicking, right? And it's like they don't get the fucking memo And they want to invite Dracula into the house. Remember that movie? What was it? One of my favorite movies ever, The Lost Boys, my nigga, with Keith Sutherland. Huh? The Lost Boys, one of the best movies ever. And in The Lost Boys, they said, the vampire said the only way that we could come in the house is if you let us in. Right? So he was dating homie's moms and whatnot, and that's how he got into the house. So the Congolese, as much turmoil and shit that they've been going through with this civil war and all of that crazy shit, they have not learned their lesson. Right? Let me pull up the article. I was just looking for it. Let me pull the article up. This shit really turned me. I was perturbed because I know the play. I see it. I see it in like a 20th, like a Magnavox. I see it like a 20th Zenith, my G. You know what I mean? They're going to use those people to take out the ops, and the ops is anybody that's stopping the imperialists from taking over. Remember, I said it before. Africa is the number one goal for the Trump administration. That is his crown achievement. That is the crown achievement. They have to take Africa because the conflict that they got with China, the conflict that they have with the lack of resources, all of these things point to the fact that they got to get Africa underneath their quote unquote deodorant. Damn, nigga, why are you popping up? All right, so why does the DRC want a Ukraine-like minerals deal with Trump amid conflict? So keep in mind, the Ukrainians is up in Africa taking shit as well. So Trump is literally about to inherit. And when we say Trump, it ain't you, it ain't us. There's niggas in the audience like, yeah, we're about to inherit. No, nigga, it's plain to fucking see. Yeah, I'm talking about we. This is not a we administration, fam. Okay, cut that shit out. Where the fuck is Doug? Where's Doug at? Where's Google? Where's Doug in the audience? Where's Doug Einhoff with tell him, Doug, this is not a we administration, my niggas. This is a I administration. This about you. These niggas is like us only, nigga. USA, make America great again, nigga. That don't got nothing to do with your ass. If you got 4C hair, bro, they not talking to you. The Democratic Republic of the Congo is having daily exchanges with the United States government with the aim of securing a minerals for security deal. Congolese officials have told the media. So once again, America gets to go into the Congo and kill a bunch of Africans. Great. Great. Right? Great. That's some shit that we're ready to see. They're going to unleash all of their technology, all of these drones, all of this crazy shit on them people. Now, the rebel fighters, the ones that are killing what? Women and children. Because the shit is ugly in the Congo. It's fugly. It's similar to what's going on in Gazington, right? It's fugly. Women and children getting knocked off, right? Women and children getting sexually assaulted, human trafficking, sex trafficking. But if anybody knows anything about the Americans and the UNs, it's not like they'll come in and change it. They'll come in and take that shit over. To whereas they like, we need to traffic some organs because there's no shortage of people in Is It Real that need organs. There's no shortage of old peckerwoods in the Midwest and all around America that need new testicles and livers and lungs. You know what I mean? There's no shortage of people that need some melanin and melatonin. There's no shortage of people in America that's like, yo, we need some of them diamonds that they got in the Congo. We need some of that gold that they got in the Congo. So if he allows the imperialists and the colonizers, this is when it comes time to figure out who we are in the scheme of things. Because I'm not gonna say we once, nigga. This don't got nothing to do with me. I'm not rooting for none of them. I ain't rooting for none of them. You know? But yeah, if they go ahead and do that deal, man, oh man, they done lined themselves up. They invited the vampires. They done invited Dracula in. If there's gonna be some type of Europeans moving around, I would rather it to be the Russians. You know what I'm saying? I hope they don't deport me for saying that. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? I hope they don't send me to Bermuda, my nigga, for saying that, or El Salvador. But goddamn it, I would rather it be the Russians. Why? They have, if there's, when it comes to diplomacy, when it comes to statesmanship amongst the European nations and whatnot, America is not the one. If anybody was in the armed services and y'all in the audience and y'all fought GI Joe for Afghanistan and y'all was out there, can you please let me know? Can you please let me know? You know what I mean? Can you please let me know? Because I will have to ask y'all a few questions. I'm gonna put you through a Q&A. You know what I mean? No judgment. And it's nothing negative, you know what I'm saying? But we rather have people who were boots on the ground, so it ain't about me. You know what I mean? So here's the minerals. One of the most mineral rich countries in what? The world, with its mineral wealth estimated at 24 trillion. I'm leaving after that. I'm leaving after that. There's nothing else to talk about. 24 trillion? That's the amount of debt that America owed. 24 trillion? Yeah, that's how much they got over there in the Congo. The shit's supposed to be looking like Dubai 100x, but they've been having civil wars up in that bitch for damn near 30 years. So if you want the iPhone 26, my nigga, then they need to get up in there and get the motherfucking minerals. They need to get the minerals. Your war was a spiritual war? What that mean? Was you in the army or not, bruh? They don't want niggas with hair bumps in the army. And my $1 million question, and I asked it yesterday with Blue, are you niggas still with your fucking boots on? Did you not have an honorable discharge yet? Like, y'all still holding on, huh? Okay. Y'all still holding on. Okay. You was in the Navy. And it was spiritual, respectfully. I get it. I'm not judging. Like I said, I have family members, my cousins and them. They got on their GI Joe shit when the towers fell, and they was jumping out of helicopters and all of that. So I get it. You know what I mean? And what did you see though? Did you see the enemy engage in any type of spiritual warfare? Because I heard that the Afghanistans was disappearing on y'all niggas. That's what I heard. I heard that people are coming back haunted because y'all went up in a place fucking around with mystical people that y'all wasn't built to. Y'all didn't know nothing about shit like that, especially soldiers coming out of the hood. Y'all don't know about shit like that. Y'all go into a mystical land, and them niggas wash y'all up with spirits. Is that true? Did y'all see the dead like Jacob's ladder? You know, that whole shit. Yeah, I'm talking about you dealing with a civilization, you know. Oh, you was in Sicily and Bahrain. Oh, you wasn't in combat like that. I want to know where the combat veterans are so we can ask them how does the armed forces move on foreign lands and whatnot, and are they committing atrocities in the name of Uncle Sam? You know, because we know that the contractors like Blackwater with Eric Prince, they do the dirty work. You know what I mean? They do the killings and whatnot. They do some of the dirty work. They go on those missions. We got Black Ops. Oh, it's a tax-free combat zone. Isn't it like prosperous over there in Bahrain? It's turned like Dubai, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I know you was having oh, they called it a combat zone. They was that was the zone where they were flying a lot of aircraft and drones and stuff out of there. If my memory serves me correct, they had a lot of drone bases and things of that nature. Is that correct? But I was hearing things about them seeing giants in the mountains in Afghanistan. I was hearing things about they would be like, "Yo, we will run down on the ops, and they would have those hoods on, and they would have like they in the desert and whatnot, and they would draw down, they would walk them down and whatnot with the M16s and the big boy guns, shoot them down, and they was like, niggas would get up and start running into the caves." If I see some shit like that, and don't tell your commander that I said this, I'm shooting myself in the foot, my nigga, in the toe that I don't need. Facts. Nah, not. Let me take that back because I had messed up one of my toes, and that's something that y'all never want to do. I would rather shoot myself in the calf, my nigga. A toe injury. Oh my goodness. It wasn't. Yo, all of your nerves is in your feet, bruh. I was at my daughter's mama's house in 2014. She had the floor model TV with the big back with the BBL. Remember that? Remember the floor model TV with the BBL? Now they got wall models. No, nigga, floor model, not a wall model. The big screen. And she had the nerve to have that bitch on a shelf. Here I am. You know what I'm talking about? Acting like we moving shit around. I don't got no socks on, by the way. I'm barefoot on some old leave your sneakers at the door. I'm barefoot type shit. Yeah, literally 10 toes down. Not the floor model. The floor model was elevated. Man, I picked that bitch up and I didn't know it had a BBL. And I started, and that shit fell right on Phil's toe. Right on him toe, bro. Right on his toe, bro. Shit ain't been the same since, my nigga. I promise. It ain't been the same. Let's just say that if I go to the beach, niggas is judging me. How about that? If I go to the beach, you know how everybody getting work right now? Niggas is getting new teeth. Everybody getting fillers and shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? I might have to go get a BBL for one of my toes. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not ashamed to say it. You niggas will not find me at a pool party with my feet out. You know? It took my toenail off type shit. And then my toenail, toenails grow back? Toenails grow back. But they don't grow back like the toenail that you used to have. They don't grow back like the toenails that you used to have. You know what I'm talking about? When I go to the spa and they be working on his toes, I'm like, here's a tip. Cause y'all niggas, where you from? Cambodia, ma? Oh man, y'all different. They are different. They bring out the fucking they bring that shit out there. The drill. I gotta be transparent. You know what I'm saying? I dropped the floor model on my foot. And it was in February. So I had to come back to New York. I had the boot, I had the little slipper boot on my foot with a sock on. I'm talking about this is Timberland weather, February in New York. I'm walking around with a sock on. Nigga. My trauma is different. You know what I'm talking about? My trauma is different. You know what I'm saying? I had to walk around that bitch with a sock on, limping around 2/5 for like a week, my nigga. 2 weeks until my toe got better. I'm getting a BBL for 2 of my toes. I'm just letting y'all know. If y'all see me coming back from Colombia, y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge me type shit. Don't judge me. You know what I mean? And I'll see y'all at the pool party after that. But yeah, they had me out there. I was feeling like LaVar Ball out this bitch. I thought I lost a foot. You know what I'm saying? Because when it hits the foot, it hits the nerve. And that shit shot up. It felt like somebody it felt like my foot was on the stove. That's how hot it got. I was like, damn, why is my feet hot? I looked down because remember, you don't feel the pain until you see the blood. That's why niggas get shot and be like, did I get hit? They don't even know they got hit until they see the blood. The minute I seen the redness, oh Lord, I almost fainted. You know what I'm saying? She had to hold me up. She had to hold me up. Yes, they said I got LeBron feet. Bruh, if I went on the balloon popping show and everybody and I had on sandals and you know how they be like, yo, let me see your feet. And Shorty was like, yo, let me see your feet. I'm popping the balloon. I'm falling on my sword. Like, nah, you pop. Like, we ain't even doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? We not doing all of that. I'm just gonna off myself right there. I'm popping the balloon and I'm out. You know? Did you see the attempted abduction of the sisters? Yeah, I did see that. Shit getting real outside of the borders. You know what I mean? Shit getting real. They had there was an attempted abduction of some sisters in Colombia, and then you had the Indian girl in Dominican Republic. It's a lot of shit going on. It's a lot of shit going on. You know what I mean? It's a lot of shit going on. But I will say the toes have gotten a lot of love ever since then. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, love is blind, I guess. I guess love is blind. You know what I'm saying? The way they raise these children up is different these days, but the toe gets love. The toes get love, you know? But I'm getting the toe BBL. I'm just letting it be known. I could do grounding. I didn't lose my toe. Now you getting now y'all niggas is going too far. I didn't lose my toe. I just got the shit smashed by a TV. Y'all don't feel my pain? It's okay. It's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? Protect your toe at all costs, man. Real talk. Protect your toes at all costs. It's nothing to fuck with. That is not an injury that I suggest any of y'all feel ever because it goes through your body. Nah, it can't be bad. You know I'm exaggerating. Psych. I seen the structures under the pyramids. Man, all you niggas is talking about, yo, we got pyramids older than Kemet. Y'all gotta explain what they was doing over there with them pyramids, because that shit looked different. I seen that. It looked different. We gonna talk about that in the lecture on Saturday. It looked different. Yeah. They got some shit over there in Egypt right now. They got some things over. They are trying to locate the TH3RDs in the Western Hemisphere. Lou Cipher, can you break that down? Can you break that down, please? I wanna know exactly what that means. So yeah. The only fan for toes. Only toes. Now I know some foot models though. Let's talk about it. I know some foot models. Foot model shit. I know some foot models that gets the bag. Real talk. I know some foot models that get the bag. You know what I mean? For real. Like for real, for real. No, I don't have no corns. I don't got no corns. I know corns are different. I don't got no corns. You know? Don't got no corns. I just got a totus like an ancestor type shit. You know? But this is what I said that I wanted to do with the audience tonight, because it is the first day of quote unquote the New Year's. Where was Q Reeves at on his channel? Um, I'm taking Q&A tonight. We doing Q&A. You know what I'm saying? We doing Q&A tonight. We're going to ask it's like AMA. It's like AMA tonight. We're going to answer questions from the audience. I've never did this before. I think I've done open lines, but we never really did like a Q&A for a minute and whatnot. So the first question that they want to know is on some hip hop shit. What do you think about Yellow Beezy MO3 case? Oh, going back to the article that we did yesterday, or the show for that matter, let me read the title of the show that I did with B Dell. Karmic retribution is a sign of resurrection. Karmic retribution is a sign of resurrection. When I was doing my studies, I was reading this book, by the way. When I was studying this book, right? This is not an easy book to find, right? This is a profound book coming out of China. And it was talking about murder, right? One of the most egregious acts that you could commit on this planet is to kill something. Even if you feel that it's justified, right? It still accrues an amount of karma that you might not be able to work off in this lifetime. That's why I say to people who just blindly go into war for the government and don't necessarily, you know, haven't really gone into war for their causes and whatnot. And then y'all is out there killing innocent children and overseas and whatnot on some old scary shit, like how Blackwater was out there in Fallujah and other places. You gotta you really have to, now that you've come into consciousness, because you can't necessarily be held for a lot of things that you do when you're in what is known as an unconscious state of mind and whatnot. You can't judge people with conscious rules when they were doing things rather unconsciously. But I would dare to ask you, if you're conscious now, would you be doing some of the same things that you were doing when you were in the armed forces? And then, of course, we got to talk to the street niggas who just think that taking lives is just something that you could do and just walk through life and not get, quote unquote, the karma that comes with it. It's not the case. So the when you murder somebody, the statute of limitations never go away. You could be 89 years old and they could solve a crime and your ass is going to jail. Now, when it comes to the Mo 3 situation with Yellow Beezy and whatnot, they said that the quote unquote shooter testified to a grand jury and basically ratted him out. And we're looking at another murder for hire. Once again, Dallas, right? So what's the energy going on in Dallas, right? The baby just died in Dallas, the 5-year-old with her father, right? Who, if you'd have asked me, because I wasn't even on Ronnie like that, but I tapped into his catalog. He was the nicest dude out of that area. I'm just saying, I'm into bars and whatnot. He might have been nicer than anybody that I hear coming from out of that area. You know what I mean? He's nicer than Yayo. He's nicer than Yella Beezy. You know, he had bars. I respected his and then the more I got into his story and I realized how much of a legend he was, it was, that shit is crazy. But yeah, the it's crazy, it's crazy. A lot of redemption coming through in this retrograde. You know what I mean? A lot of redemption coming through, a lot of resurrection, a lot of things that, like the big U thing that just happened, right? The spirit of that child that he murdered, that came and gave him the RICO. You know what I mean? The spirit of Nipsey, who, he had something to do with. Because after seeing, I read the indictment. I read the indictment. Like I said, it's not easy for a reporter out here these days. I need y'all to pray for me, bro. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't easy for a researcher these days. Like, there's some heinous shit going on, and we gotta, in order to report it, you kind of gotta go into this shit. Like, I gotta read these indictments, and the shit is they putting out 100. They putting out 100-page indictments, bro. They putting out 100-page indictments, 80-page indictments. You know what I mean? Now that the feds are involved with everything going on these days, it's a lot of reading that we got to do. So when I read what Big U and them niggas did to their artists, I was like, oh yeah, he definitely did that with Nip. He lined that up. That you would be a fool to think that he don't have his fingerprints all over that. You know what I mean? And I'm sure by time everything is all said and done, that might even come to the surface and whatnot. So pray for Dallas, you know what I'm saying? And for the people who are getting their justice, because Mo 3 is gone. So there's really no justice that he could truly get. You're not, that locking somebody up is not justice. Justice is, you got to go do a song with Mo 3. That's justice. That's how it works where I'm from. I don't know where everybody else is, but last time I checked, that's how that's it's balanced justice. But streets got to get cleaned up. All of that murder for hire shit with these YNs going crazy, that has to die. The party, we watching the party die. The party is dying. And unfortunately, people are dying with the party, but the party is dying, man. The streets is dead. If a nigga's trying to stand up and do some street shit in 2025, after they shipping niggas to El Salvador and they about to start droning the cartel and all of this crazy shit, and everybody's telling, like, you deserve what you get. You deserve everything that you get, and there's no excuse at the end of the day. I gotta feed my family. Feed them what? The fuck you talking about? Feed your family death? You know what I'm talking about? What you gotta feed them? Pain, my nigga? What do you gotta feed them? There's no excuse no more. That shit is over with. I don't want to hear that. And I'm not being short with nobody, but that's a fucking cop out. I'm a product of my environment. No, nigga. That's not what it is. You better you better make your environment the product and change your ways and clean the fuck up and level the fuck up and shed that motherfucking skin that you was in. You better grow up. You better grow up and build something, because we don't have no more patience. We ain't got no more patience. These niggas is cooked. The streets is cooked. Shorties is cooked. The hood is cooked. It's over with. And there's people in my live in the chat. We was all cooked before. We was all cooked. I was cooked. I was one of them niggas that was cooked. I remember being in a motherfucking cell cooked. And I hate to be bringing up the past and street things, because I don't like talking about stuff like that, because it's sometimes borderlining on glorification. But no, niggas, I don't know how to make it in. I might make jokes about it, but that was some very hard times in my life. That was some dark times in my life. That's some times that I'm still traumatized about. You feel me? Because it was painful waking up in the cell, and you got to look at them goddamn lights that don't go off, and you cooked. You're like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to, you know what I mean? I'm red-handed, I'm cooked. And this is me in my teenager years. I'm this is my teenager. I was a troubled teen, you know what I mean? And I've been there before. And the reason why I was cooked is because I walked into I was following the tunes of the Pied Pipers, and I walked into a shallow grave. I walked into it. And it was a choice that I made, that I wanted to somewhat flirt with death. I wanted to take penitentiary chances, and I wanted to flirt with death. I did it to myself on some old daredevil shit. You know what I mean? Once again, some Scorpio shit. Some Scorpio shit. You always want to see what's behind that goddamn door. You always want to see what's behind that door. You know? And I peeked behind the door, and I ain't like what I saw. So sometimes niggas got to get cooked in order to come out, barbecued, and they got to get cooked in order to come out half baked or fully. You know what I mean? You got to get cooked. So people is getting cooked because they got to wake up, and these nice words of the old niggas trying to talk to them, they're not trying to hear that. They're not trying to hear that. You know? These words are too soft. They're not trying to hear that. So they gotta hear white people yelling at them and telling them when to shit, when to piss, and all of these other things. Because one thing that they're not is disciplined, unfortunately. And there was a day and time when there was a level of discipline, in the family. Then there was a discipline, there was a structure in whatever hood you were in, things like that. It's not the same anymore. So they're getting a discipline from federal agents who don't smile with these niggas. That's the only thing that they fear. What Biggie said, yes, indeed, the feds is the what? Yes, I clear, and the feds is the only. He said something about the feds was the only thing that he feared. That was Biggie, whose estate, right? And it's not Valletta who sold his rights. They sold his rights today. It finalized for 100 million. Biggie Smalls. They just sold his whole shit for 100 million. This is an artist that went diamond. I'm like, nigga, that's lowball. And it wasn't his children. It was Mark Pitts and somebody Burroughs and whatnot. That's who sold his shit. You feel me? That's who sold his stuff. The whole Biggie catalog, and you're gonna see Biggie cereal and stupid shit like that. I don't think we need that. I don't think we need that. But they got 100 mil for that, and it's from the same person that's suing P. Diddy and implicating P. Diddy in the Tupac murder. That's Mark Burroughs. Who let me pull up the article so we can read it together. But I'm like, damn, what that got to do? Because how y'all gonna do that right after Valletta gone? Like, what's going on with that? That kind of had my spider senses going off. And I don't know if Tiana and the young boy, if they're gonna get. I don't know how that's working out. We'll find out right now. Let's see. All these damn catalogs getting sold. That's the real Bitcoin right there. All of these damn catalogs that they've been buying up over the past 10 years, nigga. That's the real Bitcoin. You feel me? Because they're gonna find a way to 10x that shit. I don't know how. I really don't. Like, really think about it. These young kids don't give a fuck about none of these old niggas. If you're not Little Wayne, anything after Little Wayne, they don't care about it. Like the younger generation, my son and them, my daughter and them, they like, I don't give a fuck about no Biggie Smalls. Even if you come out with a movie on him, they not watching that. That's really for the old heads and whatnot. They not into none of that. So my thing is, who are they doing this? Were they selling the catalog to do what and for who? And how do they think that they're gonna flip that shit. Because the younger generation is not, they don't care about none of that. They be like, that shit sounds noisy to me. Primary Wave acquires Notorious B.I.G.'s catalog and other rights. The Wall Street Journals report the deal values the rap icon's estate at worth $200 million. But he went diamond though. Well, whatever. Primary Wave said on Thursday it partnered with Notorious B.I.G.'s estate to acquire a stake in the Brooklyn rapper's music publishing and recordings, as well as certain name, image, and likeness rights. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. The Wall Street Journal reported earlier on Thursdays, that his mother, Valletta, reached a deal with Primary Wave shortly before her death earlier this year, and it was valued his estate at $200 million. So you die as you're selling off the estate for $200 million? Did the same thing happen with Afina Shakur? Think about it. He sold 28 million albums. Primary Wave said the statement that the deal will include the biggest hits from Ready to Die, Life After Death, and performances and recordings with Junior Mafia. They also include Primary Wave's portfolio. Look at their Bitcoins. Whitney Houston, The Doors, James Brown, Stevie Nicks, Nirvana, Prince, and Bob Marley. Name, image, and likeness rights are needed to license an artist's works for films. Known for its roles in licensing music for biopics like Bob Marley, Whitney Houston, Primary Wave is currently involved in biopics about Boyz II Men and Boy George, both of which are in production. You want to see a Boy George movie? Pause. You want to see a Boy George movie? So yeah, that's what's going on with the Biggie estate. You know what I mean? Yeah, I gotta protect my catalog. Like AA said on the show with Brother Rich, I'm putting my lectures on vinyl. I'm putting them on CD as well. They're gonna count for my catalog. God damn it. Put a few beats behind that bitch, and we're gonna treat that like a song. We're gonna treat that like a song. Very soon. We're in the spring season, right? So spring is about new birth. Spring is about springing forward. So we're going to be bringing people on this program that are going to be giving up information about that is spring-like information, new information that will give us life, right? Information that will help us blossom. So I'm going to be bringing on a good brother very soon to talk about copyrights, right? Rights, music catalogs, and all of that stuff. Somehow, some way, one of the most important topics in this culture right now. And I only say that because there has to be something that we don't know. If multimillionaires, people who live in 100-room mansions, people who got cars that are 400, 500,000, right? Wearing diamonds from Sierra Leone, right? These niggas don't know the information about their rights. So it's obviously something missing, because if these rich niggas don't even know about it, what is it? Because they all getting jerked. All of their money is going into a black box somewhere. So what is it about the music industry? What is it about rights? What is it about contracts? What is it about all of these mechanical royalties and stuff? Like, what is the science? What is the secrets that these artists, even if they hire somebody and be like, yo, find out what's going on, teach me this, teach me that, they still don't know the game because nobody is teaching a younger artist the game. And am I lying? Niggas is still asking, yo, what's going on? I woke up and I had fucking 3 lumps over my head. I got knocked over the head. I don't know what happened. So I'm gonna be bringing somebody through who knows what's happening, who cracked a few codes and whatnot, and they're gonna help teach us, some things that we need to know as a collective. And maybe if it's not for you, you could teach somebody else this shit. I pulled my music off of the streaming platforms because I'm in a little bit of a protest against the fuckery. I don't like Spotify. It just don't, it doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. I get emails and they like, where's your songs at? Fam. I don't even know where they at right now. You know, I got to get the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Because after I learned certain things and after I found out certain things, I pulled everything off of it. I gotta get dressed for the party. I gotta put skirts and blouses on these motherfucking songs and then put them in the public because nobody wants their children to be in public butt naked, right? And every single one of these songs that's on these DSPs and whatnot, these are my children and they're butt naked. They're standing out there with their goods showing because I don't have them dressed up. I don't have them dressed up. So I had to take them out of, I had to remove them so I could dress them up and put them back into the quote unquote marketplace with some fucking clothes on so these people don't grape me. You understand? Because that is all they're doing right now to people's intellectual property in their works. And I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I could do without people listening to the music at the moment until I get my business in order because, I got to leave something behind to the little ones. Money Up Records. All right. Did you send me the email when? I don't know. I think it's more than just owning your masters, though. I think it's more than just owning your masters. It goes a little bit more into that. Do you have your ISRC numbers? Like, there's so many fucking numbers that you need. It goes a little bit further than just keeping your masters, bro. You know what I mean? It goes a little bit deeper than that. So we're going to be bringing a brother on who is going to drop bars. You know what I mean? He's going to drop bars. Yes, your UPCS. It's a few things that we need. And hopefully this will be a learning so that people could learn from this and teach others. Register with Illuminate. Let me write that down because I'm not one of these. I'm not arrogant. I take notes. You know what I mean? I know that there's teachers in the audience that teach me things that I don't know. That's why I show up these days so I can learn type shit. You know what I mean? It's each one teach one with me. So let's go. Illuminate. Register. Thank you. Thank you. But it's money to get. Don't let nobody never tell you that there's no money in this. Stop playing. There's money in audio. There's money in streaming. There's money in visuals. There's money in video. There's money all over this biatch. So don't let nobody tell you no different. They try to scare us away. The place where there is no money is on these rigged ass platforms, right? Like Spotify, that's giving you 000. They're not even giving you an XRP worth of a coin. They're giving you something like a a shit coin. Okay, the physical copy of the Red album, the Red Summer. Yeah, that definitely has to happen. I think I'm like Playboy Cardi, my nigga, because it been 5 years since I came out with an album. I don't. He. It was 5 years before he dropped this new shit that he got. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what happened to 5 years. I really don't know. I didn't know it was 5 years for real. I didn't. I was like, I looked up and it was 5 years, and I was like, God damn! I literally have the album in my phone or in my hard drive, and it's been 5 years. So I'm still trying to figure things out, you know, because be dated at this point, you know. Why are they getting rid of artists for the catalog? What's going on? All right, there's two things. One thing is this. So if I wanted to make an AI song and use Biggie's voice, right? Now that these companies own the catalog, the same way that they're selling the rights to like sync licensing, where you could play his music. So now you're gonna hear Biggie Small commercials. They're gonna, juicy, you know what I mean? Selling fucking bubblegum or something, or they're gonna have Biggie selling tires and shit, you know what I mean? Or they'll have his music in movies and whatnot. But they also gonna have his music on AI platforms. YouTube is gonna soon implement a AI type of generating. YouTube, which is Google, is about to introduce AI generated voices, but it will be Biggie's voice. It won't be necessarily a fake Biggie voice. It'll be AI generated Biggie voice that company that just bought his rights. They'll be in partnership with YouTube, and you'll be able to say, I really got Biggie on the hook. I really got Prince on the hook. I really got Michael Jackson doing a verse type shit. You might have to play a big ass pretty penny for it. They might take up like 80% of your the split and whatnot, to whereas they're gonna get paid off of it. But shit like that is about to happen, you know? Shit like that is about to happen. No, I just mentioned Cardi because of the times of me having my audience waiting for a new album, because they was hating him because he took 5 years to drop. So I'm hoping that the people who had the Red Summer don't hate me because it took me 5 years to do a follow-up, and I keep telling people, oh nah, it's coming. Oh nah, the album we about to drop it. I said that shit like 18 times. You know what I'm saying? I said it like 18 times. But once again, releasing music is like having a child. It's your baby. You feel me? It's something that you just can't put out there like that. Like I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist, but I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit, you know? So I need it to be, I just need everything to be on the up and up. You know what I mean? So it's like it's coming. It's coming soon. You know, it's definitely coming soon. And then maybe one more, and I'm out. I'm gonna be an executive. I'm not really, I'm not gonna be doing this forever. The Twin album got you where you are, man. That is such a slept on project, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. We were going through a lot when that album dropped, and that album got me. No, that album, we did that album, me and Blue, in a point in our careers and in our life where it was our darkest time. You know what I mean? That was our darkest time in this community. And we kind of like, that was our therapy, was going into the studio and creating and whatnot. We didn't even really intentionally go in there to make a double album. We was just tapping in studio sessions. 2 songs became 4, 4 became 10, 10 became 20. Then it was like, oh shit, we got an album on our hands. And boom, it was Twin the album. Shout out to Kambada. He was very instrumental. He was in our corner. This was a time where we got canceled in the community, because we came after Polite, and niggas picked their side. They took sides and whatnot, and they decided that they wanted to be on his side. And it was a dark day. You know what I mean? It was a dark day. It is what it is. But that's when the Twin album came out of all of that. And I think Kambada is the executive producer. I know he's the executive producer on Scorpion King, which was, a classic that we did. And yeah, that to me, that's my best album. I'm to me, that's my best album. You know what I'm talking about? To me, that's my best album, the Scorpion King. Only because it captured a time when I consider it to be the golden age of consciousness. Matter of fact, let me see something, because I just seen Blue post something, right? There's a picture right here. And this literally was the night. It was at this lecture right here. This was the Polite debate against Harry Goldstein or Harry something. It was the Jew. It was the Jewish dude. Is it Harry Weinstein? Yeah, I think it was Harry Weinstein. So this was like the biggest event in New York at that time. This was 2016. Right here I go. This was the night I met Kambada. This is 2016. You know what I'm talking about? This was the night I met Kambada, right? And we linked up. He knew who I was, and I heard about him through AA Rashid, and we went to the studio. I lived in the Bronx at that time. He lived in the Bronx. And the debate, this was the debate of the century. It was the Jewish dude, and this was a Harry Rosenberg. That's his name, Harry Rosenberg. He's a big deal, and Is It Real? He's a big deal, and Is It Real? You feel me? And he got washed. They had a big ass debate, him and Polite, and he got washed. Polite washed him, and that was the big one. Smack DVD, my nigga Smack. He was Loaded Lux came out and opened up. I'm talking about when I say movie. This might have been 2015. Might have been 2015 because I know shit fell apart in 2016 in the community. So it might have been 15, but it was literally, this was like the golden era. This was when shit was really like it was so magical at that time. Literally anything could have happened. It was so magical, so mystical, so anything could have happened. That's the time that I'm talking about, and I just was off the energy. And I think the first song that me and Cam did was Made for This. What the fuck? Where's my band Cam? Made for This and Detroit Red Pill. No. Yeah, Detroit Red Pill. Yep. That was the song that we did. It was lit. It was lit. And we haven't turned back from there ever since. That's my bro right there. One of my favorite artists. I'm not shy about saying that. I give everybody their props, but Cam is definitely in my top 5. You know, um, here you go. I'm gonna drop the link. This is the only place that I didn't take my music down from on Bandcamp because Bandcamp is not like they don't exploit you. You get your bread off of Bandcamp. So Bandcamp, here's the link. I just dropped it. For anybody that wants to dive into our catalog, y'all might not even know that we do music. Like everybody don't know that and whatnot. But this is the catalog right here. You get to dive in to 2016 all the way up into now, and you'll see the growth. You'll see the growth. You know what I mean? I'm sure you'll see the growth in Blue Pill and whatnot. Theta Waves is still your hardest song ever with Blue Pillar. Yeah, that was my shit, man. Triller. Oh man, yeah. Cam smoked me on that. I ain't gonna lie. At the end of the song, you hear him saying, "Yo, I want to get." You hear me saying, "Yo, punch me back in." With Cambada, you got to do the verse second. You got to do the verse second. You can't do the verse. You can't do your verse and then let him come in and do the verse, cause he gonna come and smoke, my nigga. You know how he get. He gonna come in and smoke, my nigga. So the key with Cam is do your verse last, my G. Cause I take the word, take the clue from me. He came in that bitch and he smoked, my nigga. I was like, come on, fam. Punch me back in, yo. What the fuck? How you gonna do that, bro? What about SETI versus Polite? That was big. That was in 2012. That was big because SETI don't get enough. They don't talk about him enough in the community. I don't know why. I hear more about Young Pharaoh than I hear about SETI. And SETI was very instrumental in many things, bro. In many things, man. And he don't get the credit that he deserves. Um, you said Cambada is the greatest lyricist ever, bro. Even blessed me with a verse. Yeah, I'm. Come on now, come on now. Son he's an anomaly. He's an anomaly. Like he showed me things in the studio that I didn't even know, helped improve my shit, and was the executive producer. Whatever happened to Scorpion King 2? Nothing happened to it. Um, Once again, because of the chemistry that me and Cambada had on Scorpio King 1, I wouldn't do it without him. You understand? And we're in two different states right now. I tried to do it when I was in Connecticut, but a lot of shit was going on with like C19 and some, and it didn't happen. He helped me out with Red Summer though. That's kind of like that. So, but we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. Put it in the description for later. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the description later. Um, but yeah, that's my guy, and I'm honored to be a contemporary of his in the musical world and whatnot, because he definitely opened up a lot of doors, and he definitely, his pen game stepped up a few notches since I first met him. He went crazy on the Holy Ghost series and whatnot. I didn't even think prior to that, if you hear his music, that wasn't even his wave. Before that was like shit white boys is into, more so, like LSD music and multiple syllables, and his metaphysical. It was almost like he was rapping lectures after we linked up, and then Rich heard him, and then Rich got with him, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Seti was one of the greatest debaters to ever live, and he came through and he was crushing shit. When he first came out, he was crushing niggas. He was feared. I don't think nobody in the community has been feared. I don't think nobody in this community had a more of a fear, had more niggas in fear than Seti when he first popped out. You know what I mean? He shook the whole pillar. He had the elders shook. I'm gonna keep it a buck, yo. Yeah, I was getting phone calls from elders like, yo, what the fuck is going on in Harlem, bro? Like, you can hear the phone shaking. Like that's early YouTube. Niggas was not used to viral videos. It was a problem. It was a problem, you know. Oh yeah, Good Wife. Man, the story of how Good Wife happened is magical. That just happened on energy. Like you know what I mean? It just happened magically. You know, that's why it sounds like that, because it happened magically. Blue needs a solo project. Yeah, tell him. And Pooh's first two, straight classics. You got me with that too. Straight classics. You feel me? LSD was a bona fide classic. Nigga, LSD had me try LSD. You know what I'm saying? You know? That shit right there. Oh yeah. We definitely ate on that. You know, once again, another verse that he did after we did our verse type shit. Let him just leave it at that. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Shout out to Black Dot. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna call Black Dot tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me. I gotta talk to the OG and whatnot. I gotta talk. I got a song with Ampu. He's on it's an unreleased song. It'll be on Red Winter. I got a song with Ampu. I got a song with him, but it's like he's on the hook type shit. I don't have a song with him. Ooh, China Flow. Yeah. Yeah, China Flow. You drop red opals in a party. Yeah, man. I appreciate all the DJs that showed love, man. I remember being in the club and hearing my shit. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to feel. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to feel. It felt weird. Yeah, double sets of the twin pillar vinyl. Definitely. The only thing that we're waiting for with see the thing about the Twin album and Scorpion King, right? Is I'm literally waiting for the technology to remaster all of these songs and whatnot. I don't have all of the stems and things of that nature, but that's my thing. I want it, I don't want it to sound super clean and whatnot, because it has that gritty sound to it. But I was literally just waiting for that. I tried a few people out and they wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. I was gonna come out with a greatest hits album, because there's some songs that I was doing in like 2010, 2011, fire shit. You know what I mean? Fire shit that I was in when I was in Atlanta back then, and the shit was crazy. And I'm like, I want to put that on the best of Red Pill. So I'm literally looking for the technology to make that shit sound mastered better. You know? Yeah, I remember y'all asking questions, right? Y'all asking questions. Yeah, that Twin album, that's Blue Pill's album. I'm gonna just leave it at that. The whole blue disc that's all him. He went bonkers on that. That's why I'm saying that he's the most improved out of all of us. You feel me? No disrespect, but Blue Pill is the most. He's the most improved. If there was like stats for players and whatnot, everybody kind of like leveled up and got their thing. But there's no bigger improvement than Blue Pill's bars. Let's get to that. There's no bigger improvement than Blue Pill's bars. You know, he stepped it up all the way and he continues to step it up. Yes, get the Blog Talk Radio remastered. Yes. Matter of fact, F that. This might turn into a music show, god damn it, because I did pull up the page. We might go down the rabbit hole, because the intro to the Blog Talk is on the mixtape, which is on the Bandcamp. Let me see if it's right here. We might play that bitch before we get up out of here. Let me see. Is this it? And we can't leave AT the arch degree. You know what I mean? We cannot leave out my younger brother KT, the arts degree. He's also much improved and whatnot. He's the slept on one. You know, he's the slept on one. Sometimes you gotta have a slept on one. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, KT got bars. KT been doing shit. I told y'all before when I was living in Atlanta in 2001, and I used to just write rhymes on a computer. I wasn't in no booth. I didn't have nothing recorded. KT literally was writing songs for Lisa Left Eye Lopez. This was in '01. He was in high school, bro. And I was still in the streets. He was in high school. And he had writing credits on Lisa Left Eye Lopez album. You know me. I was just trying to get next to Lisa Left Eye Lopez. I don't hide the truth. You know what I'm talking about? I wasn't trying to do no song with her either. You know? I was trying to get next to Lisa Left Eye. This when Aaliyah was alive. I was feeling myself. You know what I'm talking about? I told y'all before. I walked Khalees down, got the number. I was feeling myself in like 99 and 2000. I felt that I could get anything I wanted. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm like, yeah, KT, bring me over there with you. And he was like, nah, never. And it never happened. And I didn't get to meet her. He was like, I'm taking this one for me. And yeah, he got wrote on the album. You know what I'm talking about? Wrote on the album, you know, and got his writing credits. And yeah, he's a beast. And he was in a group back then. This nigga was in a group back then. You know what I'm talking about? He was in a group all the way back then. So KT pen game been a problem. Been a problem. You said she bad to this day. Facts. Facts. I got all of the Blog Talk episodes in a folder. I don't know where I'm going to put those episodes. Somebody like, you got a royal follow, a lawyer. I don't even know these things. I promise you. I'm just a teacher at the end of the day. Sometimes I got to remind myself that I do music. That's why I'm sitting here like a kid having these conversations about this music, because I don't even realize that people even know the music like that. I don't see myself as, you know, sometimes I wear so many hats that I got to put that hat on in order to see myself as the artist. You know what I mean? Because that's not my day job. That's not what I do. This is literally some shit that I do, you know, as a passion. Yeah, some people know the lyrics better than me. You ain't lying. You are not lying. You know what I mean? You are not lying. But this means a lot to me. I'm literally tearing up inside. You know what I mean? This means a lot to me that y'all are familiar with my catalog. And don't worry, I'm not gonna sell my catalog to Clive Davis now that I know that niggas fuck with the catalog. You know what I mean? But we are the underground. Who heard Batman Mafia? A.A. Rashid's first mixtape from 2013, I believe it was. Batman Mafia. You know? Yes, if I do a show at Rolling Loud, I am definitely gonna be performing like Playboy Cardi. I'm gonna just be yelling in the mic. I'm gonna be grunting. Ah! 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 While everybody sing that, say, yeah, I'll put the mic in the audience. I'm a Rolling Loud nigga. I you know what I'm saying? No, not dog food. Not dog food. Batman Mafia. His best project ever. That's his best project ever. Mosai Moolies. Woo. Mosai Moolies was Is that Batman Mafia? Yeah, I think that's Batman Mafia. I'm telling you, y'all, that mixtape got me through some of the most depressing years that I was going through the most in 2013. My daughter was on the way. I'm just going to keep it like that. I was being challenged by every single god in the universe. You know what I mean? It was a dark period for me. I was living in Brownsville of all places. And then but my environment would match the way that I was feeling. Nigga, I was living in Brownsville and it was dark, my G. And that album, Batman Mafia, man, that shit carried me. That shit carried me, bro. That shit carried me. Cause two things. I didn't know he had it in him. He said he started rapping because I put music out. He said after he saw what I was doing, it inspired him to get in the booth. I didn't know he had it in him. So I'm hearing shit. I'm like, nigga, this is you? He like, yeah, bro. And then he dropped that the artwork was on point. Everything was on point. And it was the beginning of that whole, you know what I mean? That. So we're that underground. Like I'm bringing it back to 5 years, 8 years from now, when people talk about underground, it's like, nah, nigga, there was Cambada, it was the Pillars, it was AA. I'm waiting for the AI that helps you know all your lyrics. Then I'm going on a global tour. You know? Now, you say you're gonna be on my top if you sell your catalog. Selling my catalog to Disney, nigga. I'm I'm selling my catalog to Meta. Yeah, I see the Duke of Tears was doing his thing too. I remember that. Him and Supernova had a group. I say it's wicked on the mic. Son got bars. It was called, I believe, it wasn't A alike. It was something with A. But they had a group, you know what I mean? They had a group. You know what I'm saying? And they was doing a thing. You know? You said AA started that work. To be honest, the West Side copied them. No, he gave the source to West Side. West Side didn't copy him. West Side met him. You know what I mean? After West Side met him, West Side, he became West Side's what did they got? Svengali. You know what I mean? He became West Side's quote unquote Svengali or his confidant or his thing like that. You got retrograde is retrograding. Yeah, I know, man. I know. It's it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Disney is going to use an AI verse of Cambada's from your album to advance their. You feel me? That's another reason why it's spooky out there that they're taking artists and they're feeding it to the AI and then they're cloning your style and whatnot. So I'm like, y'all don't want you niggas to become my I don't want no AI artist sounding like me. I don't want that shit. I don't want my sound to be cloned. Yeah, he became AA student. You know what I'm saying? Batman Mafia artwork feels like West Side was inspired. Yeah. I'm sure he was. Okay, A Deuce. There you go. That was the A Deuce was the group. Him and Nasir. A Deuce. You know what I mean? And they was doing a thing and whatnot. You feel me? So shout out to them. You know what I mean? That was a special time, man. God damn. We talking 2010, 2009, 8, the Obama era. Different time in consciousness, y'all. Different time. If I could go back in time, man, there's so many things I would go back there and do. You know how niggas be like, I wouldn't change anything. Nah, I would change some things. You You feel me? I would go back and change some things because not knowing what I know now, you know, knowing what I know now. Yeah, they need to make that happen. Killer Priest and Cambada. We got Cambada and Loaded Lux. That's a classic. That's a classic, you know. That's a classic. Let me pull up the Know the Ledge intro music before we depart. Let's pull up the Mental Leverage mixtape. This literally came out in 2000. I was living in Atlanta around this time. March 9th, 2011. What were y'all doing in 2011? March 9th on Biggie Day, 2011. Right? So we put a mixtape out. This is before we was doing albums. This was the mixtape for our radio show. So we came up with the idea. We was like, yo, we got a radio show. It's kind of hip-hop based and whatnot. Fuck that. Let's do a mixtape for the radio show. First time we did some shit like that. And yeah, it was a classic. So this is the intro, y'all, for our Blog Talk world-renowned Blog Talk radio show.
What a good scene, isn't it? One man crazy.
Listen to the bars. Listen to the bars.
If you stripping to get through college, instead of Gucci shoes, spend a few chips on an knowledge. You need to know the ledge. This is not the time for blowing bread. So it's said. You are now rocking with the best. You know it's red. You know it's blue. We wishing you the best. You know it's true. Out of murky waters, the lotus grew. Out of murky waters, the lotus flew. 50 cent soda blue. Look at what we doing with the knowledge. We developing a cyber college, building a machine with these cyber dollars. We brought you the hottest breed of scholars to water your minds with alkaline seeds of knowledge, to resurrect the lost city in the sea of knowledge. I'm from the Brooklyn Zoo with a sign spread. Don't feed the scholars. Know the ledge. Every Tuesday and Friday, at least 2 hours. Broadcasting from Ground Zero. Superheroes. The new Twin Towers. Red and the blue. The new Jack Bowers. 24 hours of black and more power. Hotep, Islam, peace, God, shalom. Welcome home. No a man should have all of that power. Return of the superhead rules in this age of Waterbury. We in the Matrix auto staring, hydroplaning down the information highway, hanging out the window, shooting at the agents sideways. 9 p.m. Tuesdays and Fridays. It's Tuesday. If you coming at it sideways, you can say I did it my way. The good Dr. Sinatra. I'm Bojangle, the fallen angel. The church is Satan. When we gonna see the church debating? The earth's awaiting. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the earth is shaking. We birth a nation, we percolating. We easy to swallow. The information is hard as hell. The pills is in circulation. Impersonations, hard to tell. The smurfs is hating. Somebody go run, tell Gargamel.
Help! Gargamel! Oh, please don't be frightened. I'm terribly sorry about this.
I bring my life to the table. I bring my wife to the table. I bring health, wealth, knowledge, and self to the table. I bring Know the Ledge TV to the table. Conscious cable. I bring Know the Ledge radio to the table. Conscious radio. Conscious Wikipedia. I bring DVDs, books, Know the Ledge media to the table. Killing fables to the families of the royals. I bring Kings County to the table. Rejoin the royalty. The melanated Clark Gables. Soldier culture to the tables. The superhead rules to the tables. I bring 7 heaven seed moss to the table. Soul water to the tables. Red and blue, the Big Daddy Kane. Ready, willing, and able to walk it through my sables. Full-length sables. Back from the future like Bishop and Cable. To introduce the freshmen to the X-Men. In all of their candy excellence. No question, class is in session. Report to the chat room, pen and pad in hand. You wanna beat it early and beat the caravan. People storming the gate to get a plate. The lines packed like the Happy Land. Either open up with the latest cuts or the rap tools. They bump out the latest trucks. from 9 to 11. We do it in the dark, like we used to do it in the park for the most part. For the very second that the show start, you're witnessing composed art, think Mozart, huh? The love received so far has been so hard. There's a few dudes to front, but they medullars ain't sharp, that ain't so soft. Don't be thrown off, then he's sold off. Avoid them at all costs, like raccoons or skunks. But back to the regular scheduled program. The program is sponsored by Seven Heaven. What else in hell can you get an open line to heaven at 11:11? Emerge out the other end of those meditation portals. There's elevated warp tools, even some immortals. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Press 1. For everyone else, thanks for attending another session. I'm pleased to teach, but it's an honor to learn. Certainly, courtesy of KTL University.
Oh, please don't be frightened. I'm terribly sorry about this.
You are! The
See what I said about see what I was talking about Blue and his boss? See how they stepped up? See how Blue shit stepped up? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a lot of music on this right here. I think the shit with AA. Let me double check. We got Black Dot on this. We got my nigga Kufu, El Rasun, John Connor, NY Oil. Man, it's a mixtape, so it's different people. You feel me? We got skits with TH3RD, intro, like interludes. Yeah, A Rashid Crack Rap is on there. Oh no, that's an interlude. Ty Phoenix. Yeah. Yeah, we was going in. We was going in. We was going in. That's the mixtape era. You know what I'm saying? It was going in. Let me see the other mixtape though. There's another one. I'm trying to see where some AA music is at. But yeah, you know those was the days, man. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know what we was doing. We didn't know what this was gonna become. We was just in the times. It was in the times, taking full advantage of it. That's what I'm saying. Like if I could go back, I would cherish every single moment of it. You know what I mean? Duh. It's the one we got the big. I gotta take the Big Meats drop off for the mixtape now. God damn. Big screech, huh? But yeah, man, those was the days. But I dropped the link, like I said, for anybody that wants to go ahead and play the music and go into memory lane and get familiar with the catalog. It's all free. You can stream it on what they call Bandcamp. It's all free 99. You dig? And yeah. They gonna show up what if Griselda was like, yo, I want to sign Red Pill and Blue Pill. What kind of look would that be if Griselda wanted to sign us? What would you say? You said that wasn't YN? Not really, right? That wasn't YN. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's that called. My son would be like, "You whack, bro." You know how the children are. You know the children. You know how the children. You know the little YNs. The YNs be hating. You whack, son. I'll be like, you say you'll have them Derringer beats. Ooh, no drums. I would have to learn how to rap to the no drum beat. I would have to learn how to rap to the no drum beat. I like the drum. I like to bounce on the drum. You know. But we do have a music channel. I do have to remind the family of that. As a matter of fact, I will show you what it looks like. We launched the channel with Brother Rich. We're gonna get this shit really up and running very, very soon. We dropped a video for the non-eat the God Fest, um, where Blue Pill went absolutely ridiculous, along with many other people. I got KT went ridiculous too. You know what I'm saying? KT showed his ass. Pause. He was going off the top freestyling. You dig? He went bananas. He went bonkers on it. Um, I'm gonna drop the link for that channel right there. Please subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing. And we're gonna be doing album reviews on this channel. We're gonna be doing everything music related. I will be uploading a playlist that will have all of our videos, because that's another thing. Me and Blue got some fire ass videos that if people didn't know about, they wouldn't even know. They wouldn't know that it's even videos even exist. But we got some nice videos in the on the internet floating around. So we're gonna put it. Here goes the channel. It's only one upload. The non-eat the God Fest and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Check that out. This is fire.
New Orleans is technically below sea level, so it's no surprise if you see devils on a ride during Mardi Gras or late night on a party bus. He hardly rush, he takes his time.
Sister Erin Nichols. Wait, Sister Erin Lyons. Dr. B Serious. You know what I'm saying? You got B Dell.
Energy,
Ambata.
clone, Thanos with the ether, reality stone. Reason.
Sister Myra.
Palace from the temple made a palace.
Billy Carson was up there.
Trust and faith in me when
Billy Carson.
some people had question marks. It just
spiral. You're still rotation.
It was a movie.
They now confusion and a confusion. I can see
Red Pill, that guy.
You know. Because
where's KT at? KT was up there. So yeah, this is a classic. This is an all-star lineup. I highly suggest y'all get tap in with that, especially since I have so many music lovers in the audience. Like, y'all blowing my mind because I didn't even know that y'all was out. Is it too late to get a ticket for Saturday at all? Nah, we selling tickets up until the day of. You know what I mean? How long would it last? I'm thinking 5 hours, because you have 4 lecturers and we all are long-winded, but we're going to keep a time schedule going. So I'm thinking 4 hours with maybe an hour Q&A, but it will be recorded. Red, what happened to the skits? We're bringing the skits back. We're bringing the skits back. You know, we will be bringing the skits back. We used to do skits a lot. Yeah, so that's Hip Hopolis. That's the channel. If you could be so kind as to sign up to it and become a subscriber, and we will begin to load it up. We're gonna start loading it up because there's a lot of content. Is there any specific album reviews that y'all in the audience would like to hear? And it has to be some new shit. We don't want to. We'll do some things because all of us are unks. So we may do some classic album reviews. Like, I would love to do a Scorpion. I'm biased, but I would like to do a Scorpion King album review. We might those that memory lane shit that we just went through when I was giving you certain artists and whatnot that y'all might have, like Batman Mafia. We could do stuff like that. Yeah, that new Tory is fire. I talked about that the other day. I ain't gonna hold you. They don't even, you could tell they hate Tory Lanez because they didn't even talk about his album like that. He had a little bit of buzz, and then they went on a Cardi bandwagon and ain't get off yet. You know what I'm talking about? They jumped on the Playboy Cardi bandwagon, and you ain't hear nothing about my nigga Tory Lanez, who made the Jail album. Free him. You feel me? Free him. I don't feel like he did anything. That's just my humble opinion. Costa Nostra, Coast Contra, the Four Brothers, right? They got an album. GNX, Life is Fun, I Am Music. Life is Fun is who album? Who? Where's Life? Where's Life? Life is Fun is from who? Y'all want me to do a Playboy Cardi album review? Yeah, you want that? You want that? Okay, I'll give it. Oh, they got a 6-song EP, Coast Contra. Have they been a Rolling Loud? I don't see them on stages like that they should be on, especially when they letting a lot of trash niggas get on these stages. Hell nah, no. Oh man. Uh he's too much. He's become like garlic to the old heads. Playboy Cardi's like garlic to the old head. You know, yeah. I definitely want to review that album. I didn't listen to all of it. I do want to review that. That is something on my list. Dave East and Ransom. Whoo, man. Audubon Ballroom. And the cut. What's it? Let me go onto my playlist. This is my shit. I think it's something about farewells, right? The farewell something. Let me see. Beat on that shit is crazy. And Dave East is growing on me. I was kicking his back in before. Yo, the beats on this shit, the beat selection on that album, the final core. Farewells. I love that beat, yo. I love that beat. This shit. Smith and Wesson. Yeah, I heard that they came out with something. Skrilla. What Skrilla Underworld? Is that my nigga 6'7"? Is that 6'7"? Or is that the nigga Skrilla? See, this was a conversation that we was having, and I'm glad that y'all saying, touch on some ratchet shit too, because we was like, yo, are we just gonna do like conscious albums? Are we gonna fuck with some of the ratchet shit? And we didn't have an answer. I was like, nah, I don't know. But music is music, and I am music. And I don't want to be one of those, I don't want my ears to really be out of tune. I had to literally tune my ears to listen to Playboy's album, Playboy Cardi's album, and I had to put it in a whip on 10, on like I had to turn it up mad loud. And I still don't understand it like that. You know what I mean? Killer Cam just did a hard freestyle called, yeah, Killer Cam. I mean, Jimmy dropped the fucking Jim Jones album. Wasn't bad, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Like, you need to put an album out. I heard Mace is coming out with something, but Killer, we need to hear an album, because you can't let Jimmy smoke you, my nigga, because he's literally sneak dissing you in every song. Oh yeah, Skrilla with the 6'7". That's another thing with the Skrilla music. I gotta be on hard drugs to listen to his shit. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, that zombie music. You know what I mean? I don't get it. You know what I mean? I don't want nothing to ever happen to him, because he has redemption qualities. I see something that he might not see in himself. I don't want him to OD or nothing. And he's in the war zone in Philly. But he is, in my humble opinion, and I could be wrong, but he's the future to the Philly YN drillers. He's their future. How Future is in Atlanta to all of these niggas, Skrilla is their future. That's how I see it. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it. You know? Remember Aisha's segment? Blood clot. You the white man's bitch. You the white man's bitch. You the white man's bitch. But think about it though. The the power, yo, Jeff, you gotta be in the album reviews with us too, man. You just can't be you gotta be a part of the album reviews. You know what I mean? You a musician. You and your brother, we gotta do special album. I'm not saying it like this, Jeff, but we might throw the YN shit to you. You all right with that? We might throw the YN shit to you, Jeff. You break that down. You know what I'm talking about? We need reactions, Jeff. You know what I'm talking about? But think about it. A esoteric insight on some ratchet music. A esoteric insight on YN soundtracks. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I just don't want to do all fucking chew stick artists and whatnot. Remember the chew sticks? I don't want to do all tree hugger catalogs. Like I need balance. You feel me? You know I got ratchet bones. You know what I'm talking about? I just told you I got my toe is fucked up. I need, you know what I'm saying? I'm different. A Doechii album review? Yeah, now y'all trolling. It's got to happen though. It's got to happen. You know what I mean? We got to give it. We got to give the. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be biased. I'm not a hypocrite. I ain't gonna be biased. The YN music disc. I need somebody to. I need an esoteric deep diver to go into the YN underworld and give us an esoteric breakdown of the shit that's coming out because I can't do it. I can't do it. You know what I'm talking about? I can't do it. Skrilla got a unique flow. I give him that. Skrilla got a unique flow. I give him that. It's a lot of Skrillas. You said, ain't Skrilla from Dallas? You said no more Drewski woke rap. I can't, you know what I mean? Like it's egregious for me to try to do a YN breakdown. I be knowing certain things, but yeah, it's some cool person in the audience that y'all understand more about it than I do. You know what I mean? I can't do NBA young boy shit. None of the NBAs. I can't do it. But I will let y'all do it, and we'll post this shit on our channel. Let's make this shit interesting. You know what I mean? My plate is full. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, one YN review a month. Let's keep it to one. Let's keep it to one. I gotta deal with the old niggas that ain't grow up, the senior citizens that are making ratchet music. I gotta deal with them. Let me. I'll review their albums. We got Jimmy Jones and the rest of the old niggas that won't grow up. I gotta deal with them. You know what I mean? Let alone the YNs, because the YNs be flooding the market. You know. But I like Playboy Max. I like what he's doing. You feel me? Where's the conscious Playboy Max? Where's the conscious Kai Sinet? Where's the conscious I Show Speed? Where are they? I'll be looking and I don't know where they're at. You know? But Playboy Max, he's running around recording different artists. He's flying to the UK. He just had Will Smith. Like, son is working. Son is working, bro. So it's like I respect that shit. Yeah, we covered that earlier about Yellow Beezy getting locked up and whatnot. I feel that when they took Mo 3, another person that hit me because of his messianic energy. I don't know what it was, but I know that I was tapped into Mo 3 right before he got murked and whatnot. And when he got murked, that shit bothered me. I don't always get bothered when shit happens because shit happens. But yeah, I was like, damn, not him. So I kind of went and did my deep dive into all of that Dallas shit. And yeah, they took a good one out of there. And you know, that spirit of people who are taken away too soon, it's the karma's gonna bite your ass. You know what I mean? So yeah, we covered that. Is Nino Man? Is that Rick Ross artist? If I'm who is Fat Joe album review? Ah man, yeah. Your 10-year-old, yeah, they all do. Let's be clear. And when we highlighted the streamers in 2024, and the disclaimer was they do Seth Rogen like shit. You remember the Seth Rogen movie, Super Bad? Oh, Nino Man be with the locks. Okay, I gotta check them out. A Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap album review. You a legend, Unplugged from the Matrix. You a legend. Yes, there's going to be classic album reviews. I might even have that wheel and whatnot, and we're gonna spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, that will be the album that will play, and it will break down and will dissect. Um, I don't know if we'll do stuff like that on Twitch, because I know that YouTube be shutting shit down when it comes to this copyrighted music shit. But I'm hearing certain people do it. I don't know if I need a special badge or something. You know what I mean? These niggas like the YouTube police is they don't come after certain channels. So I gotta find out what's that about. But yeah, we're gonna do some classic album reviews, and Victory Lap will definitely be one of them. Going back to the streamers, because a lot of us have children, and for some reason they're pushing the Castanets and the iShow speeds. They're pushing them to adults now, right? And it's only right that adults understand what it is that they're looking at, and these are children. These are multimillionaire children and whatnot, but they are the new kings, or they are the current kings of the quote unquote um of the YNs, right? Of the youth. Let's just say the youth. I don't want to call it, I don't want to put that tag on. I don't want to generalize and put that tag. They are the presidents of the youth right now. They are the quote unquote, they're the superstars of the young generation. And if anybody follows the numbers, you know that the younger generation, it's a mass movement of them. Everybody was having kids. You know what I'm talking about? So it's a bunch of fucking kids out there now. You know what I mean? It's more children than it's more children than parents. You know what I mean? So it is it's a whole universe of them. They have power. What type of power? They have purchasing power. And they also have eyeball power, retention, right? They can make you blow up through numbers, which is how Castanet and them became uh 8-figure niggas. Pardon me. I don't, you know what I'm saying? That's how they be. Is it after 12? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how they became who they became, because of the numbers. And men lie, women lie. The numbers do as well, but it's the internet, and numbers are king. So if you go in live and you got 100,000 people watching you and shit like that, or your video is doing 100 bands in a few hours, yeah, you have leverage when you go up in some of these advertisers, and when you go and get your bag, you got leverage. You know what I mean? And that's the leverage that they're using, because they have big numbers and whatnot. But yeah, they on a Seth Rogen shit. They're doing a lot of zesty behaviors. They're doing that teenager shit, that young adult teenager type of stuff. Do I think that that's cool? Not at all, because I'm not a teenager. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a teenager. And even when I was a teenager, you know, that shit wasn't really cool like that. You know what I mean? Children of the Corn. Whew. Which Children of the Corn? Oh yeah, these are Children of the Corn rappers. Yeah, these are Children of the Corn rappers. These are Faces of Death, Children of the Corn rappers. And they into some dark shit, you know what I'm saying? And I like I said, I I can't. I can't. You know what I'm saying? It got to be a balance. You know what I mean? I cannot. You know what I'm saying? I cannot. But one of the thing about the younger generation, that's why who's the king of the younger generation musically? We talked about it before. Look at how they artists look. Look at the artists is wearing fingernail polish. They got piercings in their face. You know what I mean? They got thongs on. They're androgynous. You know, they're androgynous gangsters. I never heard of no shit like that. They're androgynous gangsters now, and this is who the children are following. So their masculinity is a thing for them, but also they're and I'm not painting all of these children like that because of course they're into the hyper masculinity through the drill music. That's them flexing their hyper masculinity. Oh, I'm gonna and their hyper masculinity. We are somewhat confusing the activities of the younger generation for hyper masculinity when it's really not. You know, beefing on the internet and killing people over tweets and whatnot, that is not hyper masculinity. They teetered into a whole nother place and whatnot where they're literally acting like their moms and whatnot. And there's no disrespect to no women out there. I'm not being misogynistic. What I'm saying is that they're going off of, yo, what did you say about me in a tweet? And then they start scratching one another. Where do we see that before? Where do we see that before? And the YNs of today is not the YNs of yesterday. So YNJ and all of them, that's not the YNs that I'm talking about. These are the new YNs. You know what I'm talking about? These are the new YNs. And that title YN, that's the niggas with the shiesties, the Pooh shiesty ski masks, and they walk around with the tight all black on, right? They got the all black, they got the black Air Forces, they got black Air Force energy. They wearing bubble gooses in the summertime, and they carrying around military grade weaponry. That's the YNs that I'm talking about. And they ready, they TT, they train to go. So they living their life like it's Call of Duty and GTA 6. Those are the carjackers, those are the little kicking your door little niggas. Those are the, you know what I mean? That's them. And they got soundtracks. You feel me? And they got soundtracks and they're on a different vibration than we are. They're on a different vibration than where we are. Henceforth, why they can't listen to Outkast. They cannot listen to Jay-Z. They cannot listen to Nas. They can't listen to the boom bap music. That shit is like when when the Gremlins, remember the Gremlins? How did they fuck up sliming them? Like how was they able to kill the Gremlins? Was it with music or something? It was something that the Gremlins didn't like. Whatever that is, that's what the music sounds like to these little gremlins. These are not just gremlins, these are super gremlins. These are super gremlins. You know? You live in a city of the ultra YNs too. You live in a city of the super gremlins, man. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't even horrorcore. I promise you. This is not Fruquan and them niggas from the grave diggers. These is real grave diggers. Real grave diggers. This ain't that shit Def Jam had put out because them niggas wasn't killing shit for real. These is real grave diggers. You know what I mean? So it's from the NBA young boy era and on. That's the YNs that I'm. It's a new game. It's a new sheriff in town. It's them little niggas. You know, they wear coats in the summer and no coats in the winter. Like I said, the frequency is different. Yeah, Kodak Black. but I would say Kodak in zombie mode, right? Sober Kodak, nah. Zombie Kodak, yes. That's who they rock with. Zombie Kodak. Where's Simba from? Where's Simba? Simba. Yeah, they call it crash outs. Little fucking baby Kia and them niggas, right? Yelling in the microphone. Literally yelling. Ah! ATL Water Boys. Yeah. They be 18 cased up. Oh, Simba, who be dropping the knowledge. Yeah, I rock with Simba. I rock with Simba. Okay, so when you wet the gremlins, they multiply. Don't feed them after 12 and don't put water on them. Remember Stripe jumped in the pool, my nigga, and the shit just exploded with gremlins? Sunlight and heat. So for the YNs, Cambada would be like sunlight to them niggas. You got to tie them up. Don't hurt them. Just bring them to the warehouse and put the motherfucking Bluetooth speaker on and just play Cambada's catalog. Just tie them up and play Cambada's catalog and you straighten them up. You know what I'm talking about? Don't beat on them. Don't pull out your belt, ma. Nah, you can't beat the YNs because they remember they was wearing the Ethica. They got polyester drawers on. They sagging and whatnot, and they was outside in 20 degrees with their butt out. You know what I'm saying? With the sag, you can't beat them. They immune to the belt. You gotta play frequencies. You gotta play binaural beats to these niggas and pour CMOS on them. You know, you gotta pour CMOS on them. You know what I'm talking about? That's how you're gonna be able to neutralize them. For real. They're different. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they're different. They're on a new vibration. And I be trying to figure them out because it's I have to figure them out because I'm a parent, you know? So I gotta pay attention. If I didn't have no children, I could be bitter and be like, fuck them kids. Yeah, we need to get them niggas a duck flower detox. So that's literally the drill mission. You know what I mean? We gotta give them we gotta trick them until we selling them some syrup and it's duck flour. And then come and lock the doors and then come back and see what we got. You know what I mean? Because these are some super gremlins for real. They make Chief Keef look like these little niggas is making Chief Keef look like a conscious rapper. Facts. They making Chief Keef look like Don Lemon out this bitch. They make it he like John Legend to that's how they making Chief Keef look like John Legend from The Shy. That's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. You thought Chief Keef was bad. Nigga, Chief Keef is John Legend to the new generation. He too soft. You know what I mean? He don't got enough hats. You know? So we taking 2 more questions, then we out. You know? Take it 2. And the minute you reach 30, they gonna kick you out the whip. Unking them, yeah, because Unks, the Unks been giving the Unks a bad name recently. Like Ye is giving the Unks a bad name to the YNs. We gotta. The Unks is giving the Unks a bad name to the youth right now. The Unks is out here falling apart. You feel me? We need better Unk representation because you know what I'm saying? It's not good, man. What's gonna happen to Ye? Like I said, you can't once you put children in your karmatic gumbo, it's a different you know what I mean? You've turned the wheel, the karmatic wheel that's turning is gonna turn differently when you go after women and children. You feel me? Because if you had a personal gripe with people and you went after them, right? It's all good. All is fair in love and war. But keep in mind, the sins of the father is going to visit the children. His ops, who are powerful, he revealed his hand and told the world what his Achilles heel was. So it was very egregious and disingenuous of himself to say that his children is his Achilles heel, but he's going after somebody else's children. You understand? Going back to the principles of all mystical systems, right? If you do someone wrong, then wrong could be done to you. You feel me? You got to make sure that your hands, you know what I mean? Because war is war. War is deadly. War is bloody. War is like, you got to look the other way because it's not something that you could stare in the eyes of. But he took it too far. So when you ask me what's going to happen to him, I would say that it's up in the air. It's out of my hands. I would have been easily about a few months ago before he started spiraling out of control. But his spiral at this point is one of, he has a wish. And I don't know if that's a fact of his, because we always got to keep in mind that they play with his brain, you know? They play with his brain. And when they play with your brain, when you get a lobotomy or when you get what they call behavior modification and whatnot, it's hard to come back from that. You feel me? You would rather somebody drop a TV on your toe than they play with your brain and your mentals, either through chemical castration, you know what I'm saying, or chemical attacks through the pharmacopoeia, which would be like Thorazine. You know what I mean? And these drugs that they'll dope you up on, or if they literally cut you and go in your brain like they did to Huey P. Newton. And when he came out, he was never the same. You know what I mean? He went in one way, came out another way because he got compromised. And that's the same thing that they did to him. And it's like, we can't just assume that he healed like that and he got better like that because his album went platinum. No, whatever they did to him in that hospital when they first renditioned him, um, he's still suffering from the onset of that. And I don't know if this latest outburst is a result of him not having his medicine. They already tried to rendition him. I saw a video where he said that they tried to send him to the hospital the other day. It might have been either yesterday or the day before that. He said somebody that he trusted came to him and they was like, come on, let's go. And he was like, they're trying to take me into the hospital and, do it. Once that happens, you know, they're going to try to, because remember, he has, forget the rappers, he still has big ops in the small hats. They don't hit you right away because it's too, you know what I mean? It's too much. It's going to be too much. They'll make you a martyr too quick like that. They wait for you to chill, but they'll go after your children. They'll go after your children. They'll wait for something to happen to you, and then they'll clip your. They'll do something to compromise your little ones. So he is not playing chess at all, and I can't really. You said let him continue to stir the pot. If I didn't care about him as a human being and whatnot, I would probably say go ahead and just kamikaze yourself. But my thing is this: you're stirring the pot, and you're gonna kamikaze yourself. But what is going to be the quote unquote result? Like, what are you doing it for? To make us from the sidelines cheer you on? Like, what is the purpose behind that? If you're gonna give up the ghost, right? If you're going to fall on your sword, if you're going into kamikaze mode, what's the end results? Who are you going to bring down with you as a result of that? There is none. He has too much to lose, but maybe he don't feel like that anymore. I got a good question. When you going to do a conscious live stream with just young leaders in the audience and only take questions and answers from them 18 and under only? Yeah, I'll set that up. If anybody wants to help me with that, we could make that happen. I know a few. I know a few, I know a few. How does Jay's betrayal of him fall into this? He said he thought they were a family and they never showed up for him when he needed them. But the kids are. So remember, he got renditioned after his concert talking about Jay-Z. Remember the first time, 20 at the St. Pablo's tour, he was talking about J and B right there. So that was the end of the relationship right there. You know? What did they owe him after that? Like that, the relationship was over right there, and I believe that he might have buried the hatchet and got Jay on the album for the Donda and shit. But the relationship was broken from that point on, and I don't think that it could have been repaired. So he's literally, you know, I don't. The betrayal of the family. They didn't fuck with Kim Kardashian, and he went against the Big Brothers. Big Brother said, "Don't wife her up." He called that nigga Big Brother. Big Brother said, "You can't flex with her, sir. It's not a flex. Don't bring her around my whiz. My whiz don't like her." So once that happens, what we can't raise a family together. There's no you can't be godfather. You can't come to the baby shower. It's over. He told you, I don't approve of your whiz, and you wifed her and you bellied her up. So there it goes. You know what I mean? There it goes. They probably like Amber Rose more than they like goddamn Kim Kardashian. You ever had a big homie that spotted something in a woman that you was with, who he saw the ratchetness in her, or he saw that you was dating down and she wasn't equally yoked and whatnot, and a nigga try to pull your coat? Maybe they had some dirt on her. Maybe they knew something about what she was out here doing. And you was like, I love my baby mama. I'll never let her go. And then what do they do with you? They wash their hands of you. They wash their hands of you. He don't look the same. When he came out the hospital with that blonde hair and he was standing next to Donald Trump, he didn't look the same. You know what I mean? He picked her over them. I've seen it play out many times before, especially with the snow bunnies. No disrespect. But I've seen that play out a lot of times, especially when my niggas go play in the snow. You know? So, and he thought he had friends in the industry, and you don't necessarily have friends by D-Rod and the other man and whatnot. You know, Jay, he kind of there's a line that you know what I mean, that Jay-Z has where, he'll keep you on a leash and he'll keep you at a certain distance and whatnot. You know what I mean? But when the last time you seen them in a picture together? Please. Where's the Beyonce and Kim Kardashian children's pictures together? What parties were they at with the children? That's when people are clicked up. All of that, we on the red carpet and we playing cool around each other. Nigga, that's performative. That's politics. You got to show me where your children are chilling. That's when you could say, oh, okay. But until I see that, they don't fuck with you. If you got children of the same age demographics and they don't be together and they never been together and you don't see them around one another and they don't talk about this woman, they're not wearing her skims or anything, nah. And it's vice versa. I just don't feel like I feel like when he decided that that's where he was gonna be, and he popped up with blue contacts, and remember that nigga was mad corny with the fake ass. He was code switching. He had blonde hair, blue contacts. He was chilling around with Kim K's mama on Ellen DeGeneres. They was like, "You're a goofy. You're a goofy," you know. So shit happens like that. You got to remember the relationship is little homie, big homie. It's not the other way around. He's the little homie. Unfortunately, in this scenario, he's trying to little homie ASAP and Cardi and them. Nigga, you're the little homie to Hova. And you was underneath his deodorant and you wasn't afraid to say that you was the little homie. And now you try to be the big homie. And there's no bone in your body that can make you that. And he don't have no friends, and he's friends to no one. When you think about it, who was his day one? He's not friends to anybody. His mama was his friend. He was one of those kids where the mother was the best friend. And I know people like that. You know, the mama was the best friend. She knew everybody's business. She was the one that told him who was cool and who was not. She was the best friend. He don't have no friends. You know? And then he made his children his friends, mainly the daughter North and whatnot. She became his best friend. She was the placeholder for whatever that void is that he's feeling and whatnot. But God damn it, you can't make your daughter your best friend. To fill the void of, your mother / manager / confidant. Ye reminds me of young Pharaoh at times. Betrayal ain't no joke. Whew. So you see what I'm talking about when something happens to the mentals? Who needs friend when you have money? Everybody. Money does not equate. I would rather have some great fucking friends, some people that's gonna feed, you know what I mean, my children. If anything ever happens to me, somebody that's gonna stand 10 toes down and hold it down for my loved ones and represent me rather than having a whole bunch of money that people are just going to rob from me and steal from me and betray me for. Nah, friendship is cherished. I cherish friendship. As a Scorpio, when you double cross us and when you become disloyal to us, it's one of them heartbreaks that Tony Montana had when he had to clip Manolo. It hits us in the fucking core of our being. You know what I mean? It folds us. It folds us. Type shit. You can't be upset over the mother for that long. You have to forgive yourself. Right. But think about it, Arctic. Where did he have time to forgive himself and when? Because his time with Kim Kardashian more so probably triggered the depression and some of the anxiety and things of that nature than it might have healed it. I don't think she had that healing energy for him, right? I don't think it hurt. She wasn't able to nurture him. She wasn't able to heal him. I don't think she was able to help bring him to that place and whatnot that he needs to go so he could forgive himself. Because he said that he's blaming himself. He said it in a tweet recently. Yo, I thought about killing myself every day about my mama until I don't know when he said he stopped thinking like that. He said, I blame myself. It don't hurt Jay because Jay's the big homie. It hurt Kanye because he's the little homie looking up to the big homie. It only hurt the big homie if he's cool with you and you were to pass away. Facts. It don't hurt. It didn't, you know what I mean? The Jay might be hurt because he got a wife asking him, yo, what are you gonna do about this nigga? Did you hear what he said about the twins? You know what I'm saying? That's where it hurts. When you gotta wake up and look at fucking Beyonce with no makeup, and she's looking at her phone to see if something happened to Kanye West when she was asleep because he just called your children Riri. And now she gotta look at you to clean up your mans in them. So yeah, so Jay is like big U now. You know what I mean? Jay is in a big U position where he got to whack the little nigga who got out of line. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, every time that I try to get out, they pull me back in. You know? He's going to have. So now they're considering taking legal action. You know what I'm saying? Now they're taking legal action because he can't whack him right now. He can't get him whacked. So it's like, what is he gonna do? Defamation? What's the legal action? You know, I don't know what kind of legal action you could take. You know, what is he gonna get? What is that called? A order of protection? That's what you're doing, Jay-Z? Order of protection? Okay. You know, but they said that they're thinking about legal action or whatever, or they might try to hold some type of private thing with him where he gets reprimanded some type of way. I don't know. I don't know what the play is. But what I do know is that, you know, he kind of stepped on some toes that might bite him in the ass in the long run. Because once again, women and children are off the quote unquote table. And once you cross over to the doing such, when you cross that line, there's a line, right? And when you cross that line, all bets are off the table now. In our culture, from what I remember. I could be wrong. So he has to watch himself because he's playing a very dangerous game. And right now, the small hats, if they really wanted to take him out, it's like you got 1,000 people that you beefing with, right? Where's the strategy? You're creating all of this new beef, but you have an op that is quote unquote very powerful. You was clowning Netanyahu, bro. The same person is bombing 4 countries at once right now. What are we talking about? These are not no little children. These ain't rappers, nigga. These ain't drug dealers. The nigga is bombing 4 countries: Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, and somewhere else at the same time. This is Netanyahu, the same person that Ye clowned and was you know, basically disrespecting. So them people, the way that they roll, Yemen, right? They bombing. So the way that they roll, they be like, okay, these are the same people that they say hit Kennedy, JFK. So he's like, okay, this nigga think he could play with me. You know what I'm saying? They think this Amalek thinks he could play with my name. They call him Amalek. Amalek. You think you could play with me? And they wait till you get into mad drama with mad other people, and then they come through and that's why they said that even in places like Chicago, where they have so many unsolved, Philly and Chicago, they were like, don't necessarily count out the involvement of the state. You know what I mean? Because it could be the state knocking off the messiahs. It could be the state knocking off niggas that they don't like. It could be the state in LA when all of those the unsolved gang murders and whatnot. They was like the LAPD was had something to do with some of that. They was taking out their ops. But it was like Biggie said, you could sprinkle some work right next to the body and it turns into a drug case. They, you know what I mean? They like, you got ops on record, you got ops dissing you. Everybody in the world knows that you got ops. They said they're gonna spin the block and whatnot, so we could spin the block and say that the block got spun. You know what I mean? Gotta be careful, bro. Gotta be careful, bro. See, the European, they got karma, but we celebrate Columbus Day. We celebrate Thanksgiving. We celebrate a lot of things that clean their karma, if you understand how that works. We say the Pledge of Allegiance. We kind of like, we clean their karma for them, if you can understand what that means. We clean their karma for them by participating in St. Patrick's Parade. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know what I mean? We doing it to ourselves. We are reinvigorating the curse. Yes, divine goddess. Everyone should definitely go buy yourself a coffee. You know? Jay-Z was Jazzo's son. Who remembers when I said that they are positioning Jay-Z to be the Black Godfather, to take Clarence Avant's place? Have you seen the play? Do you see the play taking place? Do you see it? I don't know if you see it or not, but it's definitely it's giving. It's giving. They're positioning him. Puff is out of the picture, right? Even if he beats his cases, he's been detoothed and he's been defanged and whatnot. He's been dethroned. He will be told, go to Belize with Sean, my nigga, and sit on the beach, right? He's been defanged and dethroned. Big U, all of these niggas is getting Ricos. Get out of here. You know what I mean? LA is mine. Get all of these people who would make Jay-Z and them nervous. Get them out of here. We don't do extortion unless of course you're Clarence Avant and you want some Black Godfather shit. We will allow that. But we can't do strong arm extortion in 2025. Not at all. Not with all of this money out here. They're gonna wash you up. You're gonna get. They said Rico got off the plane at LAX with the taco meat showing. He had on the motherfucking Carolina Herrera glasses with the motherfucking silky Hawaiian. Yeah, Rico's in LA. Rico is in LA. And then Rico comes to Atlanta. You know what I'm talking about? And he puts on the motherfucking Pooh Shiesty ski mask. And he gets off the plane at Hartsfield Airport. He goes right to Magic City. And Rico is in Atlanta. Yeah, Rico is outside. So they are going to basically put my guy in a power position if he makes it through his, or because everybody has to get you know how they have the hazing thing with the fraternities. They just killed that young boy. They're getting hazed and whatnot. There's a hazing ritual. It's not a humiliation ritual. It's somewhat like a hazing ritual. What have you been through? Clive Davis went through some shit before he got into power. Quincy Jones went through some shit before he got into power. Clarence Avant, none of them went straight to power and they didn't get challenged and they didn't get tested and they didn't have scandal in their earlier come up. They had to get through that in order to sit in certain seats and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these people are, and please, for the life of me, do not think that Donald Trump is come and save the children. Don't think that Donald Trump is going to reveal the Epstein list, because you see how that's playing out. You see how that's playing out. They're not here for that. They're not here to rescue no fucking children, nigga. I don't want to hear nobody talking to me about, oh, they're here to clean up the deep state. Nigga, So where's the Epstein list and why is the JFK files? You know, I'm talking about you know what I mean? There was really nothing. The Israel connection is somewhat redacted, even though they're in there. They're pointing the fingers to show you what's going on, but they removed a lot of shit out of there. Like you don't see what's going on in DC. You don't see it. He's on the Epstein list, so why is he gonna put out the list? Thank you. Like, come on, cut the bullshit, bro. These are all the same fucking people, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm surprised that you're surprised. God damn it. It was good while it lasted, but I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and urinate on a Tesla. Yeah, I'm that mad. I'm down with that shit. You know what I'm saying? No, matter of fact, I'm not. Oh my, I'm yeah. If you niggas want to sell your Cybertruck, pull up on the kid. I got a few bags ready. You know what I'm saying? I will barter you niggas some of these Bobby Hemmings shirts and some of these NAGA hats for your Tesla. If anybody wants to give up a Tesla, come and get some hats, nigga. We matter of fact, this is coveted. This is out of the. If you want to come and barter the Tesla, I'm taking all Teslas, man. Yes, I saw the Olmec head crush the Tesla. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to put that up here. Let me see. I'm taking all Teslas. Respectfully, I'll take that off your hands. You know what I mean? I'll take that off your hands, even though I cannot stand. Yo, if there's a human being on this planet that I can't stomach right now, there's a few of them. But slowly but surely, Elon Musk is climbing the MFN list, bro. He is up there. God damn. I didn't know I could not like a person that much. I really don't like Son. I really don't like Son. Like real talk. I might make a drill song on him. I'm gonna put a YN on him. I really don't like Son. Real talk, man. He is just something about him is rubbing me entirely the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but yeah, he's a goofy. Yeah, he's a goofy on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, they going wild over the Teslas, man. You know what I'm saying? They acting like they revolting against the stocks is taking a fucking beating. Yeah, damn. They burning Teslas. They keying them. They fucking they doing all kind of shit, man. Shit is crazy. Hold on. Did y'all see this video? Did y'all see this video with the Olmec head on the Teslas? Shit crazy, bro. Look at this. Niggas crushed it with an Olmec head. Niggas crushed it with an Olmec head, bro. What we doing here? What's the symbolism? What's the symbolism? They crushing the Tesla with the Olmec head. Damn. Yo, Nashawn, I'll take your Tesla, bro. It's dangerous in these streets riding with the. I'll take the Tesla. You can't even ride with the fishbowl no more in the Tesla. You got to get all your shits tinted. I'll take the Tesla off your hand, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna run it up about 40,000, 50,000, then we're gonna crush it with the Olmec head. Yo, the symbolism is crazy, bro. These Peckerwoods is really mad at that boy. The insurance is going to go crazy. The insurance are gonna go crazy, bro. And I think they recalled all of their trucks. Yeah, Savon call him Enlil. Bro, I've been trying to tell y'all about the four horsemen. Elon, Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel. Y'all gonna learn about Peter Thiel real soon, and Horowitz, right? They just put out a tell-all book on Zuckerberg, a a Becky, right? A little Beckington. She came out with a book. She was high in the ranks at Facebook, aka Meta, right? And she came out. It's called Careless People. I'm gonna show you, right? They try to stop that shit, but it's a number one seller now and whatnot. So I was trying to, you know what I mean? She explained. She was like, "That nigga is weird. He's a man." She called him a man boy. She said he has thin skin and he's a man boy. But it's not just him at Facebook. She was like, it's a lot of man boys and weirdos over here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So she couldn't say too much because they got some. They'll sue her ass for her wig and everything. But she said enough. You know what I mean? She said enough to where she's exposing Meta and Facebook culture and whatnot. I don't know if it's going to affect the stocks, but she out here. Here go the article. It's called Careless People. It's a number one bestseller. It's a memoir. You know what I mean? Filled with plenty of we read the book that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want you to read. We can see why. Careless People is a memoir filled with plenty of scandal, but it's also a portrait of Facebook's larger-than-life executives as flawed, awkward, and hypocritical humans. God damn. Hypocritical humans. Shit. White people is upset with you when they call you a hypocritical human. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a good article. I'll drop it in a chat. But yeah, Becky is going in. You know what I mean? Beckwith is giving them some of their own medicine. You know what I'm saying? Noble Drew Ali said, stick around long enough and white people is going to start telling on one another. And I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. I even know when they whistle blow, it's still sanitized. You're not going to really tell on somebody until a black person write the book. White people still were protecting white people. You know what I'm talking about? So she ain't telling all of the tea, but she's giving us a little cup full of something. You know what I'm saying? It's when the sisters start writing the memoirs. That's when we get the real motherfucking dirt. Give us the tea. Give us the tea. Come on, sis. You know what's going on over there. Yeah, you know what I mean? Y'all was at the water cooler. Give us the tea. My brother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Yeah, it's not your fight. Let them scrap it out. You know what I mean? This is white on white violence and whatnot. Let them scrap it out. But yeah, man. The facades is what we're talking about. The facades. You got to remove the veneers because these people be lying in our face. You know what I mean? Been lying in our face for too long. So, word from our sponsor, and then we getting out of here. I gotta get my beauty sleep, man. I'll be up to the wee hours. I'm up when this nigga Blue Pill is waking up. I'm going to sleep. It's gotta change, man. Gotta change things around. But here's the upcoming events that we have that I want y'all to know about. Of course, on Saturday, coming up this Saturday, right? 322, y'all. 322. We have Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah, The Rise of the Chosen Ones. Okay? The Rise of the Chosen Ones. That is featuring Red Pill, Blue Pill, Al-Kibalon 44, B-Del 1014. If everything works out, we will have Al-Kibalon on tomorrow for the late night show. Okay? Late night show, like later than this. I think we'll start at 1 a.m. type shit after I finish my class. Friday, this is the class that I'm talking about. March Madness Friday. This is Zoom only. This is for my Patreon. This is all for my Patreon. But it's also open for anybody else. Hit the QR code right there to get your ticket, secure your spot. This right here, we in week 3. me and Spin City. We're at week 3 of March Madness. Shout out to all of the KTLians and the students in the building. We out there doing some work in the AI world, cooking. Then on the 31st, keep up. There's a lot of shit going on. Then on the 31st in Charlotte, shout out to the Charlotte family. We're going to be in Charlotte, Melanin Monday IRL. I'm bringing Blue Pill with me. Make sure you're going to have merch on deck. We're going to have some people from your city opening up for us and whatnot so we can showcase some local talent. And then we'll be doing our thing, all right? And then right after that, a few days after that, we will be in Richmond, Virginia with A.A. Rashid. And this will be more like a lecture/art show. We're going to be dealing with music. We're going to be playing beats. This is very, art orientated. So definitely, show up for that and rock out. You know what I mean? That's from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. So you know what that is. That's the vibes. And then we're going to be doing a pop-up from 5 to 9 p.m. at Charged Up Noah, you know what I mean? At the Charged Up flagship store in the Art District. You know what I mean? So please pull up, show some love. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to rep to. And yeah, I mean, if there was that, I guess that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn, we don't want to overload y'all. But we outside, you know what I mean? So I did promise myself in the spring, we're gonna spring forward and we're gonna be outside and we're gonna move around the grid because it's time to travel. It's time to, it's time to move around. It's time to get outside of our comfort zone. So that's literally what we're gonna be doing. And we're gonna show up in your city and we're gonna put on and we're gonna make it legendary and we're gonna make a movie because that's what we do. So with that being said, y'all, we are going to end this show at the 3 hour and a 30 mark, but I promise you, it'd be hard for me to start the show sometimes, but when I'm in the water, I just keep swimming because it's therapeutic. It feels good. It's great being amongst y'all. I could feel the energy. I could feel the love. You feel me? And I just want to thank y'all for your presence and your time and just being here with me and whatnot. It means a lot. Believe me when I tell you, it really does. Like it really means a lot. So, I appreciate the fact that we are locked in. Don't ever think that I don't value it, and I don't ever think that this doesn't mean something because it means the world to me. And yeah, you know what I mean? With that being said, we're going to end this one with the song, the Facts Remix. For anybody that claimed the Facts Remix, check your email. The digital downloads are in the email. We sent a whole bunch of them out. Check your email. It should be under filthmore@gmail. But it's the album, the digital album. And, you'll have that for your iTunes and stuff like that. So with that being said, yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to Hip Hopolis, the hip hop channel. If you want to stay up late, go and watch the Gathering of the Masters. You know what I mean? It's all good. It's lit. And we dropped the link for the Bandcamp, so y'all could go ahead and rock out to the catalog when you go to the gym tomorrow, or when you're taking that ride to work and whatnot, or when you just want to vibe to some high level conscious slaps. You know what I mean? So with that being said, peace, love, and light. All right. Y'all stay dangerous, and we will see y'all mañana. Peace.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the legend, sacrilegious Sunday to melody. can get to know the legend. My love, just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.